high. Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You make me move. Can make me move. You make me move. Can make me. Feel alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me.
Welcome back to day one of Samsung Odyssey Masters Relegations. We are here at Samsung Odyssey Masters Season 2. My name is Amy, and with me is Tetka, as always, and shall be till the rest of the tournament, for the rest of the tournament.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Today marks the first day of relegation groups, where we're going to actually find out who are going to be our last two teams to join us in the finals. To remind you guys, teams today have been placed from the 3rd all the way to the 7th place in all qualification groups, and they earned their second chance into possibly going to the finals. And of course, joining them will be the best 8th place team in the qualification stage. And now we're gonna watch today and tomorrow the 16 teams clash together to see who's gonna come on top and go to the finals.
But we already also know who we are going to see in the finals. So along with the invited teams, we also gathered from qualifiers group A, B, and C, the teams that have joined them. And of course, there'll be two teams from relegations. So from group A, we had Kryptova and Snip team. Then from group B, we had Suckers and Tatuhanis. And then from group C, we had Gifted You Rage and, of course, Vespadaku Hop. And along with the amazing prize pool of 10,000 euros, this season, season 2 of Samsung Odyssey Masters, has 4 regions. So we are divided in 4 regions, the teams are. So the regions are Adriatic region, Poland region, Slovakia and Czech Republic region, and of course, the Hungary region.
Yes, and we are not only eager to find out who are going to be the last 2 squads. We have 8 teams who have direct ticket to the finals who are still eager to find out who are going to be the last 2 spots. And those 8 amazing teams are Polish Power, The Boys, Entropique, Mikurvi, Heat Esports, Grindmore, Enforce, and of course, Hall of Game. Amy, Day number one, game number one, what are we expecting?
What are we expecting? So we will see that a lot of interesting teams have ended up in relegations. For example, we had Koyer Esports, we have Team Hit, we have Fade. All of these teams missed finals just by a couple of points, which is so unfortunate. And then we have all these other teams, of course, like Torpok. We Are Not Toxic. They were like that 8th team that got in.
The last of the last chances.
I think it's going to be I think maybe today and tomorrow might be the most exciting so far in the tournament. And we'll see what happens. But before we jump into game number one, I want to thank, of course, Samsung Odyssey for making this tournament happen once again, and our partners, SpaceSafeCard and Visual S. I believe Sansan and Chunks are waiting for us over before game number one. So see you there.
Thank you very much. And yes, that's right. We are back for the Samsung Odyssey Masters. It's relegation time now, Samson. And if the teams don't start performing now, the journey's all over for them.
Absolutely, Shanks. I mean, they have 5 matches tonight, 3 Erangels and 2 Miramars. And I mean, this is the very last train to board on if you want to be in the finals of the Samsung Odyssey Masters Season 2. So all these teams, it's just this last chance for them.
Yeah, a lot on the line. I mean, we've spoke a little bit about the teams. Obviously, we've seen all of them perform in the past, and we know that every team that's here right now absolutely deserves to be here. We do have that one team that made it just about in 8th place. It was an extremely close one to be able to make it through. But right now, taking a look at the lobby, it's going to be an exciting set of teams to watch tonight.
Yeah, it's a definitely stacked lobby. You're absolutely right. And I have been going through our past groups before this relegation phase just a couple of minutes ago, and I have seen some of the team names. They were so close to getting directly into the finals through the quali phase, but they were like lacking maybe 1 point or 4 points. I'm talking about Team Fade, obviously, which has been one of our teams that we mentioned earlier on that we're expecting a lot from as well. Team Hit as well. They were just 4 points short to go directly to the finals. So it's going to be very interesting to see those teams how they will perform tonight.
How could you possibly forget Team Hit with a name like that? They will stand in your mind, I think it's fair to say. But look, we spoke about it a lot. Sure, we've got teams that have made it to the final, but a lot of big names still in this lobby. You mentioned teams like Fade, Exile, 404, Error, Team Gravity, Team Diamond, Martin Gaming, squads that all had really strong performances in the previous round in that group stage, but just haven't been able to chain them together, it feels like. And I think that that's going to be the deciding factor tonight. Who can have those big explosive performances and who can most importantly chain good games together, even if it does mean lacking those 20 kill chicken dinners we sometimes see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we have 5 matches, so it's important to say that like getting in 100% in from the very first match is going to be extremely important for all those teams because there is no other chance, as we already said it before. And as I'm looking in the lobby, I can just see that it's really stacked, Shanks. It's really stacked. It's all those teams. Let me remind you guys, it's all those teams that took from 3rd to 7th position in the previous qualification phases. So it's teams that we know definitely can frag. They can get chicken dinners. It's just now a matter of concentration and a little bit of luck to see which 2 teams are going to go through in today's qualies.
Yeah, it's a good question which teams are going to go through, because it isn't the case of, oh, we can have the top 8 teams move through now. No, it is all for a top few spots. So it is do or die for these teams. And it's more importantly than anything, the final opportunity for these teams to prove their worth and prove that they deserve a spot in the final and that it wasn't just a fluke for them to have good performances in the previous round.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as I can, what I can mention from what I've seen so far, I mean, these teams, it's just like there are so many teams with fragging capabilities, with positioning capabilities, with great leadership. It's going to be so tough. And as I mentioned, it's only 5 matches. So, I mean, obviously, these teams have played qualis before of this tournament, but they haven't played in the same group. So it's going to be interesting to see. Are we going to have maybe some hot drops in the first match of Erangel or in the first match of Miramar? Chunks, all of that is going to count.
It's going to be an interesting one. Now, the fact of the matter is we've had a bit of time since the group stages ended, so now these teams should have had the chance to prepare, knowing who was going to be in their groups. They can get a good read on their lobby, so it isn't a case of maybe that kind of RNG aspect that we talk about in the group stages where, well, it's only a group, you can't prepare for everyone. Now there is the case where, look, you know this is your final opportunity to make it to the grand final. You need to have big performances, and you need to do your research on the lobby and actually prepare properly. So hot drops will be an interesting one. And look, if we do see hot drops, I'd probably say to the teams that isn't the best play when we have so few games to make it through.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I've counted, if I can recall correctly, we have 11 out of the 16 teams that have won at least one chicken dinner in the quali space. So it's going to be. I'm just actually super ecstatic to see how these teams are going to perform tonight, because I mean, we can see they have capabilities. It's just a matter of their concentration and their focus in these next 5 games to see how they're going to do. And with that being said, we are going to hop into our first match of tonight. It's going to be first Erangel. So what's there to say? Then good luck to all of the teams.
There it is, Kovo, not letting us down. Here comes the cinematic shots. I was so ready for this. It is not Group C Day 2, by the way, for anyone who is wondering. It is, in fact, the relegation, so apologies about that. I'm sure producer Mamek is getting that fixed as we speak.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Kovo, for this wonderful scenery. First plane of the night, going not the best plane ever we've seen so far, but it's not too worse either. Most of the teams that are looting Mealtop, Prison, maybe Shelter, they're going to have to extend a little bit further. But majority of the other teams are going to get to their destination, I'm quite sure. And it's interesting to see. I can see at least 3 teams going towards George Pool. So I want to see if there's going to be some hot drop there, while we are seeing actually one hot drop in Severny already.
Yeah, interesting to see that we are getting this hot drop, but you know what? It just shows that these teams are confident that they're able to fight for these spots, and already Trafik going to be able to get that opening knock with the SLR of all guns at this kind of range. Really impressive to see. We'll see whether he'll be able to keep that one up and keep that man advantage in the way of his team, because 404 Error right now are kitted and more than happy to take this fight when it comes.
Yeah, 404 is down to a 3-man hoop modus immediately. Got confirmed, and I mean they have one more player from their team in the middle of the team lost. So it's going to see how it's going to be interesting to see if Freeze is going to find a way out from here. TN obviously is trying to hold a one of the corners, front doors from the restaurant. Some shots fired towards Arn, but nothing connected so far. Interesting guns, SKS and Car 98, I think, for TN. XLR, I'm sorry.
They're the ideal hot drop guns, I think it's fair to say, but I'll give TN his credit. He is making work happen with those things right now. Getting a couple of shots over towards Frizz, not able to convert it over into a kill, but still, that damage, it just means so much in the early game, because most of these teams aren't actually going to have the opportunity to get heals and get healed up properly, get themselves some meds, so it is about just doing that damage, burning through that util as fast as possible for the enemy teams and being able to strike when the time's right.
Absolutely. Freeze is now under a lot of pressure right now. And as I'm saying that, his teammate got knocked as well, Mara, on maybe 10 HP as well. So it's looking really good for Team Lost right now, as they have only Freeze to worry about. And as I'm saying that, 404, a team annihilated. They're eliminated on 16th position. Great start for Team Lost. 4 points in the pocket. And let me just tell you, they are very, very deep in the circle. Our circle is completely north. And this is going to be one great match for them, at least from this perspective.
I mean, you got to be feeling good about that. Already 4 kill points. Now you have Prio on rotation. I think the only downside you can maybe think of is the fact that, they need to loot up a little bit later, but they're already posted up in the zone, so I don't think they have to worry about that. I will say, though, teams like Fade all the way down on the south are going to struggle with their rotation. And I can't help but notice that Pixel's playing today. A bit of an interesting one, I think it's fair to say, considering he's currently, I believe, in Korea, so going to be playing on extremely high ping and extremely late at night.
Hey, yeah, definitely. I gotta be honest. I've seen him. I was casting one more tournament this week, and he has been playing that tournament as well, and he was owning the whole lobby. So I think the ping difference it's not it's not that much of a problem for him. At least he knows he has a little bit of a picker's advantage. So he was going very strong like a train. So I expect nothing less from him in this match as well. They're going to have a pretty long rotation because they jumped on the ferry pier, Team Fade, so they're going to probably find some vehicles and try to rotate as soon as possible. Quite a few teams have to rotate all the way from Primorsk. We have one team, Team RNG in Primorsk, team 3.5 men, a little bit above them in Quarry as well, but considering all these teams are already rotating on the north side of the bridges of the river, it seems like they're going to have they're going to be able to play the edge, at least at first, maybe Everest, and then just scout their way through.
Yeah, we will see as LC now going to start making their rotate through. Shocky is on that buggy, and he is going to try and avoid getting spotted out, but Ale is already there with the shots. Nice damage coming through, but no kill found as the sprays were just a little bit short. The vehicle is getting lit up, but the player at the end of the day is still full health. Blaze is still trying to connect onto even more, but just nothing working out here for Team Hit as they try to set up a roadblock. It pretty much completely fails.
Yeah, they just let the Team LC through, so Team Last Chance with only 3 men, though. I've seen that we had 63 people connecting to the lobby, so it seems that Team Last Chance started with only 3 men. But as we already mentioned before, now a little bit luck for them in the rotation, so there is a quite a big possibility to play really good as a 3-man. Sometimes it seems like 3 men play even better than the full squad.
Yeah, it feels like you have to think a lot more when you're playing as a 3-man, which is something that I think is going to be an interesting factor tonight, whether these teams are going to massively adjust the playstyle, go a bit more placement heavy, or whether they will continue to try and frag out like so many other teams will attempt to do tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on that squad in particular as one to watch out for as, well, Phase 1 going to continue making its close through. Not really too much to speak of right now, though I think it's fair to say in terms of early game fights. I think most teams play very strategic.
Yeah, definitely. And as you're saying, I'm watching a team Lost that has already 4 points. Team that won fight in Severny. They are playing quite a greedy split. I mean, they can of course afford it in this phase still, but it's always a little bit risky, right? If you get that one knock and your teammate is like not even in the radius of 200 meters, it can be very tough to try and help him in any way. But I feel like in this situation right now, in this phase 1, it seems like it's better to just do that split they already did and just wait for the next circle to close and then potentially get close to each other. We're watching also the rotation of Team Koyer all the way from the left side from Jarki. I wonder if they're gonna go play Rocks or if they're going directly towards Team INC. Some knocks here. Foreign found Sanya.
Nice little 3x spray coming through onto Sanya, but now the question becomes, can Incentive salvage it and get the res? And honestly, it looks like they're not even going to try. Cuts tries to move up there, but he's been spotted out, and eventually Foreign will get the flush through. Koya Esports' first kill of the game for them. I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, definitely. 1 point for them. They're holding a nice part of the zone as well. Top of this hill, obviously they can stretch through it, and the most important thing is to scout it very, very well, because there are multiple ways to approach this hill. So obviously you want to have those entering areas and zones somehow covered. At least that one player spots a car or rotation, so he can call early, so the other teammates can come and help. Here, Hood looting his 1 point from his team. Maybe gonna have some better scopes than I think. I mean, 3x is probably a spraying scope. They probably have something more, but it's always nice to get one. It's never easy to find some time to loot in competitive, right? You get those kills, but it's it's usually you never get a chance to loot in peace because there's always someone looking at you.
Yeah, you got to have those timings down to a T, and I think that's something that a lot of these teams are really going to struggle with off this circle, but most of them have really pleasantly surprised me. They've done a good job of it. They've gotten themselves into zone, and I mean, Koya Esports are a prime example of that, as Hud is just going to continue to loot up. He maybe should count his blessings that they don't have as good of a scope as he does.
Yeah, and he's also probably testing his luck because he wasn't shot at all, and he has sniper. They have DMR, so even if he gets shot once, he can, let's say, he can afford it. So it's always it's also I noticed it's a strategy from players who are usually playing Bolties. I know Hood is usually playing Bolties as well, so one of the guys in the team. So it's they kind of like always peak a little bit longer than the guys who have DMR, etc. So he was definitely just chilling there and testing his luck.
Yeah, not too stressed. It's the way you want to come into game one, isn't it? You want to be relaxed. You don't want to have too much pressure on your shoulders. You already realize that it is going to be a hard enough task to actually make it through to that next round. So if you're able to come in with kind of a relaxed attitude, not stress out too much, then you're only going to do yourself positives. As long as you still realize the fact that, okay, we are going to be in a tricky position if we don't kick things into gear right now. Let's not get too stressed. Let's try and get a couple opening kills and really get us confident going into the later game.
3.5 men here tried to stop last car in the rotation from Team Fade, but mistake was a little bit too late for that. So I mean, there is one more car coming on the bridge as well from their teammates, and going to see if they're gonna stop something. And Fade has pretty decent position in my opinion right now, because they can hold partially team 3.5 men, which are holding the garage just before, and the circle definitely rotated on the north. We're going to have a very nice north ending of the first Erangel match. So interesting to see. Most of the teams are already in the circle. Couple of teams on the very edge on the south side, which is understandable considering the rotations they had to do. One more team needs to find their way towards the safe, and I'm talking about Team GG, which is taking their time. They're still on the Everest. While I'm talking about that, we're having fight between a Last Chance and Team Want.
Yep, nice shots coming through, but nothing really being confirmed just yet. Trog should be able to get back into things as long as his teammates are able to close that gap. But one right now have a really nice angle once they've got Dodik back up and into the fight. Nades are going to start to come through, and a bit of damage will connect as Pro's PO tries to open up some fire of his own. It doesn't look like he's going to have too much success with it, as we are not toxic now. Maybe need to realize just how good their control of shooting range is. Start to capitalize.
Definitely, and they have to think not only about that, but also they are playing the outer side of the shooting range, so they have to find their way towards they have to push their way in, because they're going to start getting shot from the back from team, if nothing, and at least from the team Incentive, which is kind of relatively close up there on the hill. So they already confirmed one kill. LC down on only 2 players. I'm not sure. They probably are not aware that they're fighting 3 men, that they were fighting 3 men. So they're probably expecting one more player somewhere, somehow. But I mean, it's a long shot. It's a long shot for them to maybe anticipate that it's only 2 players by the way they're playing and by the way they're retreating, but definitely push them away, and Team LC is gonna go a little bit back, while Want is having nice parts of the fence there, outer side of the shooting range. But technically, do they want to stay there, or do they want to try and capitalize on these 2 more kills?
I mean, I would say you don't want to be in shooting range. If you end up in shooting range, something has probably gone wrong for you and your team somewhere along the line. So I hope that they are going to be able to actually make a move out of there, and that isn't going to be their late game position. But at the end of the day, if the zone does end up somehow miraculously pulling it that way, they're going to be in a really good position to try and defend it. I mean, phase 3 is really going to tell the tale on whether these teams should actually commit to this fight or try and back off.
Yeah, I'm seeing some nice and aggressive plays from Trog here. He managed to get a knock, and he's pushing more further to see if he can connect some of the frags. It's landing relatively close, but nothing actually hits, as two players from We're Not Toxic are already really, really close to the edge. And now we just have to see, is Trog gonna be able to hold off this force of three guys, or is he going to have to go back a little bit? Which as I'm talking, I think he's just running back. He was like, oh, I was just kidding. I think I'm gonna go back and chill for a while.
Yeah, I think with the zone shift, it's not a bad play to be making. Try to get up over towards the rest of the team up on the northern side, as now Skokie tries to open up, but unfortunately isn't going to have much success with it. So many players looking down in this direction. They know where he is, and they're not giving him a single line of sight. Really smart play here from We Are Not Toxic. There's Pixel actually down below now for Fade. It looks like they want to start getting involved on this, judging from the vehicle crash.
Yeah, definitely. And while you were saying, I was looking at the minimap, so many teams rotated already. Shocky doesn't have much options but to try and run away. He's probably gonna just go and chill in the closest shack because he lost one of the tires. Team lost on top of the hill, having really nice position for themselves. We already said and mentioned earlier, 5 kills for them right now. They had really nice start of the match, as well as Circle was definitely in their favor. So it's no wonder that we are seeing them on 2 prior positions. Team Diamond crashed Severny along with Team TRP. So they're relatively close to each other. It's going to be interesting to see whether they're going to get into the fight or not. While I can only just mention one more thing, Team Koyer has a really a nice position in the circle. They're holding the coastline. Obviously, they have a lot of info on the stuff what's going on in front of them. As Team 3.5 Men, somehow it seems like they're going in their direction with the vehicles.
I can't help but worry about these teams that always send it to Severny, because it's very rare that you see a team actually make it out there. So you've got to hope they've got themselves a decent amount of vehicles to work with. The tires are nice and safe, so when the rotation inevitably comes, they'll be able to get out of it. We spoke about Pixel. He's already gone down, unfortunately. The Darth from Golden Gunners was able to find it. Doffy going with a nice little spray there. Does some damage onto Blaze, but not going to be able to confirm the kill. Mistake, though, from the side angle will be able to. Nice headshot as Roy ends up finding the trade. Ali spotted out as well. Sabotage now in a pretty tricky position, trying to find that final player, but just not able to find the line of sight as Ali taken down extremely low. That nade would finish off the job, but it's not coming yet.
Yeah, Roy is having a really nice angle here, but his 2 teammates are down, so it's going to be very tough position for him if we consider the thing that he has a lower ground. So he's trying what he can. Obviously, 3x scope on a DMR is also not something that you prefer in these kind of fights, but it is what it is. Toxic here, relatively close to him. I'm trying to figure out what is he doing to help. Oh, he went for the revive there. So Roy is trying to make a difference for his team. We obviously seen Roy before doing so much damage to a lot of teams. We're talking about the team Hit, which had 2 chicken dinners in the qualies phase, and they didn't manage to get the 2nd position. But as I'm saying this, they're annihilated on the 14th position. A pretty bad start, to be honest, for them. I mean, it's a relatively slow match. We have 42 alive, 13 teams left, but I kind of expected a little bit more from them.
I will say something, though. I said that shooting range was a pretty bad position, and if you ended up there, something had gone wrong. But it seems like right now it's been a much stronger position than I maybe expected. So impressive to see those teams have success. But now the question becomes, are they going to be holding it for long enough? Is the zone going to continue heading in that direction? Because shooting range circles are notoriously brutal unless you're that team in the center farming out the damage. So I just worry now that these central teams aren't going to be able to do that. Now, though, it looks like Lost are pretty secure in their compound. They're going to land a nice little spray onto Chili to get the knock out of the vehicle. Will it be converted into a kill? It certainly looks like it. As Sammy goes down, there's only 1 player left up, and he's eliminated. Nice little flank there from Daffit. And Lost just continuing that momentum off of the road camp earlier on.
Absolute domination by the team Lost. They haven't lost a player yet, and they have, I think 9 kills. so far, amazing position as well for them. So what's there to say? They're having a great match for themselves. Mistake here on a 5 HP. He's trying to just buy a little bit more time for him to get that heal off, even though his Shek is completely broken. So if there's someone who can throw a frag grenade inside, he's most likely dead. For now, he can just chill. He's in the middle of the zone. However, if one of the players from Team Lost get a little bit closer on that top of the hill, if they get a little bit closer, they are potentially going to be in the range to throw that frag grenade in the Shek. So we're going to see what's going to happen with him here. Team Want fighting Team Martin Gaming.
Nice knock. Opening up there onto Team Gravity as Mayday will be getting flushed out. Want still doing what they can to try and survive. Martin Gaming closing up that gap a little bit further as Danku holds the crossfire. He spots one out from Fade, but he can't find the headshot. Now he stands up. Well, the window's in his way. He can't land the shots. Now, though, it's another player that actually fires upon him. Courts him with a headshot, and down he goes as Gravity taking a whole separate fight. A beautiful 2k nade there from Tessie to take out 2 from Exile.
Team Gravity has the reach for themselves right now, but they're under a lot of fire because they're being third-partied by the Team TRP from very far away. Team Exile as well, only down to IDK, so I don't think he's gonna make any difference here than just chill at the edge of the zone. And I feel like he's not gonna have great continue of the match considering his position. I mean, he is on the edge of the zone right now, but his options are very, very limited as that is a very open area where he is. I mean, he's shooting towards Team Gravity, but nothing major happens right now. Team Gravity has that. Do they have a car for a rotation? I see one burning car behind them. What are their options?
It doesn't look like there's many, because even if they manage to take the vehicles now, you got to think every single squad is going to be looking in that direction, farming out the damage, and it's only a matter of time till the kills come through. As a nice little spray there comes out, but it's not able to connect, as both players frag grenades in hand, neither able to make too much happen just yet, but in the end, it is going to be Torpok who remain in it. Nice little spray as Scouter King finishes it from range.
It was a great play. I don't know if you noticed how he managed to get out of the Shek. He was blocked by the buggy, but then he managed to sit on the buggy and then jump off. But however, he didn't manage to survive that. But at least good thinking, if nothing else. Team Diamond only on 1 kill so far. They were sitting deep in a Severny. Seron got knocked in the meantime. So Team TRP managed to rotate partially out of the Severny, but part of the team. No, as I said, that TRP managed to get. Oh, they wiped team. They wiped one of the teams in the Shek. So a Scouter here stayed as the only last guy from Torpok here in the middle of the city. He's holding a Team Diamond, which is now in a lot of trouble because they are going to have really, as you mentioned earlier, they're going to have hard time getting out of the city if the rest of the team TRP looks towards them.
Yep, it definitely looks to be the case as Bricks now wants to try and get himself the revive. Should be able to. Trafik, though, got himself that MK. Going to be feeling good about himself up on the hillside, especially with that 3 gear. But it's going to be Team Lost looking over towards the city now. Just waiting to sponge up those final few kills. Just looking at the replay, what a nade to come through there over onto Team Gravity. That was the first of 2, I believe, from Teji as it came over the top. It landed and well eliminated 2 more players, I believe. No, that was a different one. It was an absolute red zone coming out from Exile.
Yeah, it was definite fireworks, and they caused a lot of trouble for Team Gravity, absolutely. And I mean, it wasn't, of course, this part of the zone was deep in the circle, but the circle then definitely decided to shift more north, so they stayed out on the open. And I mean, playing the bunkers, it's always a double-edged sword because if you have team above you, you don't have a lot of options to get out. But as well, at the same time, you have enough cover to just like throw this kind of blind frag grenades towards them and maybe get a couple of knocks, which was the case. Right now, we're looking at another bunker. Team Fade is holding a very, very edge of the zone. They're unfortunately, they're just a little bit outside of it. So we're going to have Team Fade, Team Martin Gaming, Team Want, Team Incentive, all of them are going to have to move at least a little bit to get into the safe. And as we know, this part of the map, there's not a lot of cover. They're going to have to try to use all the utility they have, because if the team lost from the north side of the circle, if they decide to get a little bit closer on the top of that hill, they're going to have a lot of free kills.
Yeah, and you got to say the teams over in the center right now are really good. Even though Torpok maybe don't have the most aggressive position, they've got themselves a place inside the zone, which is something a lot of teams are really struggling with right now. Fade also gonna have to try and make their way through as Want now try to get involved. Tomato gonna be the first player to fall from Martin Gaming, but Nidlam immediately there for the Traders Pros. Pio is down. Will he be out? It certainly looks like it, as now the man advantage goes the way of Want, but Nidlam doing everything he can to try deny it. Beautiful spray, but unfortunately this time just not enough.
Yeah, he tried to do what he can as last man standing, but it's very hard when you're one of versus a three. Michael here managing to find some shots towards Skaldic, but I feel like this frag might hit just on the right place. Ooh,
okay.
What happened there?
I don't know what happened there, but credit to him, he's still in it, just about. Don't know how that worked, but Scout Kit gotta be feeling good about himself right now.
Yeah, definitely. He got a little luck. Was it one of the tires from the car or something? But he's lucky to be alive. While I'm saying this, Michael finally found him. A frag grenade did not work, but spray with AKM this time worked, and there is one more team less in this lobby. We're left on 7 teams alive, 18 players, as well as Team Diamond is trying to push top of the hill. They want to get rid of Team Lost, which is above them. If they manage to do so, they have the team that is going to win this fight has great chances to win this match.
Yeah, you got to feel like they have to be the favorite, whoever comes out on top of this one, but they have to be able to do it cleanly. Look, if they take casualties, I'm sure a team like Torpark are just going to sneak up the hill and start punishing, so they've got to be careful with this one. Zembri just looking over towards the edge of the zone as Zeron will be able to flush out one. Now, though, they need to be cautious because the smokes are up. They're breaking the line of sight. It doesn't matter, though. Zembri's still able to hit his shot. Hits in second. Nicely done, but Daffit's there for the trade. Up comes Zeron to try and finish off the job. In the end, Daffit goes down to zone. That's Team Lost out in 6th position as Torpark, well, they're just laying low. They don't want to get involved on this.
Yeah, they just they're playing the lower ground, obviously around that the shack, and I mean they still see 13 people alive, but with all that noise coming from the top of the hill, I would at least maybe send one player to see and scout if they can third party some of this. But we're looking at Fade right now, trying to stop Incentive from getting into the circle. They have a lot of smokes in front of them. And but I mean, there's a huge road to be passed, and I mean, you're looking at team that knows how to shoot really well. That they're down on only Duff and Luke, but they're not letting Team Incentive get into the zone.
Really nicely done there from Luke to actually be able to spot out cuts over on the edge of the smoke. So now Team Diamond have free reign, as it looks as they have that player advantage. Obviously Fade still with 2 left up could absolutely cause some problems, as Torpok still as a 2-man just decide to lay low. And well, as I say that, Flink will take a little bit of damage, so he could be in trouble as the final player for Exile Esports throws out a smoke, gets ready to make a run, but spotted and shot in the head.
Definitely nice shot for them. 6 kills so far for Team TRP, and they're still deep in the circle. However, I said it earlier, Team Diamond, 4 players alive, top of the hill, unless Team TRP and Fade don't find a way to start fighting Team Diamond at the very same time. I don't see how Team Diamond is going to sell this chicken. It's looking really, really well for them. Obviously, none of these teams have to move yet, so they're going to wait probably until the end of this phase 7. However, I mean, we've seen all these teams fighting quite a lot. I'm not sure how much utility Team TRP has, because they have been having smokes around them constantly. So in case they have to move, which they're going to have to, at some point, they're going to be in a lot of trouble if at least one player from Team Diamond looks their way.
Yeah, you got to worry that some of these teams now are going to be, because they've been fighting in all game, lacking in terms of that util, as we look on board with Diamond right now. They have just no util to their name. It's all going to come down to gun skill. Sure, Brick still has himself that smoke grenade, but what use is it really going to be at this kind of range? It looks like, though, Zero going to put his gun to use as he takes down Luke. He tries to follow it up towards Duff, but can't quite land the shots. Goes to pop that energy drink. As, by the way, the zone shifted towards Torpok, so both these teams on the hill do need to run out in the open. As Bricks tries to move up over the top, he will spot out Duff. A nice spray to get the knock, but Luke is there, laying prone in the grass, takes down Bricks, but it's not going to be enough for the kill. There's now 2 players from Torpok left standing. Scofa just up above, has the read on at least one. Team Diamond, they need to heal up. They need to hope there's meds on these bodies and smokes to go with them, then make a run out in the open.
Yeah, they have to run all the way down from the mountain, obviously, and not the best thing, not the best option you have. But we can see Skofa. He's flanking all the way from the north side, and there's this very little ridge that is protecting him from Torpok to see him. So very nice flank from him. It's just a matter of time when he reaches the edge of that ridge to be able to start shooting, start making some suppress fire to help his teammates get closer in the zone. And here he sees part of the body from one of the players from TRP, but he can't really land those shots as it's a very, very tiny hole he's trying to hit. But Bricks from another angle finds the first knock for them, and now we're just left on the last man standing for Team TRP. Is he going to be able to make a difference?
You gotta think no. In comes the frag grenade. It doesn't connect, but in the end, Bricks is there with the SLR to finish off the job. Nicely done there for Team Diamond to be able to pick up the first chicken dinner of relegation. It's got to be a bit of a confidence boost for them, especially being able to play it in such a manner where they eliminate, 2-3 teams up on that hill to be able to secure the chicken dinner.
Absolutely. They played really smart. And even though we were a little bit surprised that they crashed a Severny, as we both know, it's very hard to rotate out of the Severny when the circle shifts away. They managed to find their way out. They were fighting Team TRP. However, TRP just abandoned the fight, went into the circle, and then the Team Diamond had an open way to push the hill. They eliminated Team Lost, which was holding top of that hill, and it was just amazing match for them from that moment on.
Yep, really impressive indeed. We're going to take a quick break before match number 2, but before we do that, let's head back to the studio.
Welcome back to the studio, guys. That was game number 1, day number 1 of Relegations.
It was so crazy.
That was an interesting game.
I don't know.
But you know what else is very interesting to our viewers, to be more precise? The fact that for every single stream we have during the tournament, Samsung Odyssey is giving away some goodies.
What are those goodies? Well, I'm going to tell you. When Amy reads the question, you have to be the first one in chat to correctly answer it. And you might win €50 voucher from G2A. Amy, do you have the question for us?
Wait,
ready?
I forgot. Wait, I gotta read it. So,
You can cheat.
well, you can give me a little. Okay, good. Samsung Odyssey G9 is a very beautiful piece of technology, right? You can see it right there behind Tetka. And the question is, what is the length of it? What is the diagonal length of Samsung Odyssey G9 in inches? Please let us know the correct answer in the chat, and good luck, everybody. And of course, our moderators will then announce the winner. So I think we're gonna have somebody very, very lucky today, because they have to be really fastest finger first, as always. But of course, this is not the only giveaway that is happening during the stream. We have many more, right, Edka?
Yes, we actually have some other vouchers incoming. We have some codes that you can see on the screen, so do not move your eyes. And of course, we have some amazing prizes for our MVPs. Our MVPs can actually, at the end of the day, get a €100 prize, but in finals, that is actually going to be 500 euros. So there's plenty of things coming in. But can we comment on the game number 1? What happened?
Well, I think
I really want to
we
comment.
kind of, so the teams that we thought would have been doing, way better are the
Exactly.
ones that we saw that were only points away from going to the finals in their own respective groups. And those are, I think we lost Team Hit, we lost Koyer Esports, and then we saw some other teams being like, hey, I'm here,
Yep.
10 kills, I believe, or maybe more for Team Lost.
Yes. Amazing.
And Team Lost, if you guys remember, day 2 of qualifications Group A, Lost actually had game number 5. They got a chicken dinner. And also it was Team Incentive the same day who had a chicken dinner. So it's interesting. These teams didn't make it to the finals. They're here in relegations. They did, they're between the two fires. They did a terrible job, but they still didn't manage to get the top 2 spots in their respective groups.
Yes.
So they got here. And what can I say? It was really interesting to watch.
Yes, and you expect, like I said before, like you have game number 1, it's going to be chill, it's going to be relaxed, we're playing it safe. And then in 3 minutes, Lost decides to wipe out 404. It's like, goodbye guys, we're here, we want to go to the finals. That was crazy, but I have to mention Last Chance. So I was writing here because we were watching them all along. First, they got hit by Team Hit. Like they saw them, they got hit there. Then they encounter We're Not Toxic, they get hit there. And then finally, Shoki, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, that was 200 IQ gameplay in that shack. Come on, like for the first game of the day, I don't know what's
Full of action.
Yes.
That's what I was just telling everybody in the beginning when we opened today's stream. Is that this might just be the most interesting, and action-packed stream. Like the today and tomorrow, so relegations might just be one of the best matches that we've seen so far. Of course, we have to see the finals, who are going to be the last 2 finalists to join everybody else who is already in there in a little finals bucket,
Yeah, and they're looking really, really hungry today. Like we have,
It's their last
counted
chance.
here. Yes, it's their last chance. In 2.5 men, Mistake at one point had 7 kills. And it was early on. It wasn't like, it's the finals. It was early on. But of course, we didn't say congratulations to Team Diamond. Good job,
Yes.
guys, for getting the
Chicken
first
dinner.
chicken dinner. Yes.
I think they were a complete team.
Yes, full
till
team. Yes.
Almost like the very end of the game. We also saw Torpok. Torpok, the little Smurf from Hungary. We saw them there as well in top 4. We saw Fade. Well, Fade is actually one of the teams I should have mentioned was also just points away from going into the finals. So it was nice seeing them do some work there. And the other teams, I think we're going to see some very, very interesting games, some very interesting situations developing later. But we also saw those nades. What do you think about that?
There were plenty of nades, but once again, Shocky, like avoiding that nade by sitting in the car and getting out of the shack. That is an MVP for me. If I was giving the award, Shocky, you would get my MVP award, most definitely. But yes, we're watching teams that they weren't bottom fraggers in groups. Some of them won chicken dinners before. Some of them ended after they won on the first or second place. So yeah, this is like a well-deserved second chance. Yes.
Well, that's it for our little recap. Game number 2 is upon us again. Erangel and Sanson and Chunks after a short break.
like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one. Only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed. Life destroyed. Until I woke awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Superhero. Fly up.
Well, we are back. Game 1 is in the book. Some really impressive performances all around. At this point, we'd usually love to bring you the leaderboards, but I think it's best now that we leave a little bit of suspense while we also fix them in the background because they're a bit broken right now.
Yeah, I mean, half of the internet got broken today a little bit at some point, so I hope it's not gonna bother us for a long time here on at this tournament. We are going to, as we are saying, I think we're actually got a hold of our leaderboard after the first match, so we are going to take a quick peek before we hop into the next match.
Yep, after a really impressive performance, it's Team Diamond that get themselves 20 points and resulting in a chicken dinner. Nicely done for them, but I gotta say, teams like Lost put up a really good fight. The same number of kills as Team Diamond, but slightly lower down on the leaderboard just off of those placement points, clearly lacking this time around.
Yeah, it looks really nice to see. We have 4 teams with over 10 points in the first match. So it's even though Team Diamond got a really nice chicken for themselves, I think it's still a long a way to go because it looks definitely like this on the leaderboard that everybody wants their piece of the cake and everybody's going strong. There have been a lot of kills going on, especially when we see the teams. We had 3.5 men with 9 kills. Team Lost 10 kills. Team Diamond 10 kills. So we are having some thirsty teams in this lobby.
Yeah, really impressive so far. A lot of strong performances to kick things off this evening. But the fact of the matter is, we've still got 4 games left to go tonight, which means 4 more opportunities for teams to impress. If you haven't impressed already, now is where you need to pick things up. You need to start fragging out, picking up those kill points, as well as getting into the late game situations. Because game 1, that can be a bit of a write-off. Those northern circles, they're up in the air. But now, as we get into game number 2, we'll see how things go. Kovo, give us another beautiful cinematic shot, would you?
Oh, let's check it out.
Oh, okay. I
Oh,
like it. Out of the building this time. He always finds a way to impress us.
indoors from quarantine to blue skies. Thank you so much, Kovo, for this lovely cinematic. Amazing plane, and as we can see, it's going all the way from the north of the Erangel to, well, this time towards Novorepnoja. A little bit, it seems like a little bit mirrored plane as opposed to the first match, but I feel like all of the teams are going to find their destination. We had 3 teams, however, that were jumping, remember, around the George Pool. So let me just see if there is going to be 3 teams who are going that direction, or maybe somehow decided to this time leave Georgie alone and maybe find maybe some other destination. I've seen, yeah, it seems a lot of, I can't tell, is there going to be a hot drop yet? However, it seems some of the teams are going in the similar direction.
It seems like it. You do wonder whether they're just dropping for vehicles or whether they're being forced into alt drops right now. So when they're not going for what you would typically call a drop spot, where they're just going to be spot looting. But it definitely looks like we could see some early game action, no matter whether it's intentional or not, when that circle does pop and when these players do get nice and situated. But for now, I think we will just focus on where that circle pops, which is going to appear in about a second, and that is going to be Amelia Island. Perfect. What else would you ask for?
Yeah, definitely. I was just about to say the teams that were jumping on the north side had a little bit of the luck with the first circle, and I mean, I was even with the first zone, with the first match, and I was now thinking, is it gonna happen again, or is it maybe this time gonna go to Millie? Because I know you like those crazy circles, right? It's always like you have that, you get that little spark in your heart, like woohoo, yes, you know, it's a crazy circle. So many teams are gonna have a hard time rotating this. I'm going to have a blast.
Yeah, I just love it when teams have to struggle to get into a drop spot, and I think into a position, I should say, is I think that's definitely going to be the case in this game with just how many teams there actually are, you know, up on that northern side, all around the same area. They're going to be forced to make a move as Edam's really just laying low and hoping for the best right now. But can you blame him when there's this many players from opposing teams nearby?
Yeah, it's a tough situation for him, and it's probably I'm trying to figure out because there's no one really, like, if we're zoomed out, so there's no one really close. Everybody's like maybe 200, 300 meters away, but he doesn't have any spot to loot. He's probably just chilling there. Maybe he has some issues with his computer, or he's just waiting there for his teammates to pick him up with the car when it's going to be a time to move. However, never a good start, obviously, if you don't get some loot for yourself, but it is what it is. Better alive than dead. So better alive without gear than dead with the gear, I guess.
I don't know, because at least if you're alive without gear, if you do die, the enemies aren't going to get any gear off you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one good way to think about it. But we'll see. There's still obviously quite a ways to go before that really becomes too much of an effect. And you hope that, you know, that isn't going to be a factor and all these players are going to be getting looted up and getting into that rotation, because it's the rotations on Millie-based circles that I really enjoy watching, seeing teams try and struggle, and inevitably 4 or 5 teams all get caught up at that northern side around Milta, around the bridge area.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, because we already see on the right bridge around Milta, there's already a couple of teams close on both sides. And I just wanted to mention, this time Lost jumped to the Melee Island, and they're again in the middle of the circle. So it seems Lost has some formula to anticipate where the circle is going to go. First Severny, now military base. I want to play with them. I definitely want to play with them.
Yeah, they definitely seem like they know a thing or two about circles. We'll see if they can keep that momentum up now. Maybe we can get a read on exactly how things are going to go just by watching them. So I guess Lost are maybe the team to look out for right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have been playing really well last match as well. As I said earlier, it was just a matter of that fight on top of the hill between them and a Diamond, who potentially gets the chicken dinner. And obviously, they were very close as well. So in this match, they probably want to prove themselves further because, as I mentioned earlier, we have only 4 matches left, and that's all. We don't have a second day. So, I mean, we do have second day. I'm sorry. We don't have a lot today. So you just kind of want to push it through. You want to get the very, very good matches at the beginning. So you can have like a little bit more chilled. I mean, obviously you're playing competitive, so it's never a chill day, but you just don't want that stress over your head saying like, oh my God, we need to get 27 points this match to go through.
Exactly. You want to be getting those points on the board early. Ideally, you want to be getting them on the board no matter what. You don't want to be stopping getting them. But, you know, I'd almost rather come into it to day 2 with no pressure on my back. I know a lot of players are going to be feeling the same way. If they know that they're already in a really good position, they only need to grab a couple more points. They can have some fun with it and then focus on qualifying. Maybe... Well, not even have to worry about focusing on qualifying. I think it's fair to say you can just come in, get yourself a couple points, and sure, we're pretty safe. So it's going to be interesting to see whether any teams are able to put themselves in that position tonight, because it's a hard one to get into in such a brutal format.
Yeah. Team Diamond here in rotation. They lost Xeron on the way. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get help. They need to make a really good, really fast cover with their vehicles, while Exile Esports tried to confirm that kill. Obviously, Exile that did not have amazing performance in the match before, so they want to prove themselves. Vixen here trying to connect that spray with a 4x and barrel. That looked pretty nice. One more shot and Gemery is going to be out of the car, but it's already super far, so if someone gets this shot, it's definitely going to be for the highlights.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fingers crossed that they're able to do it, though. As much as it'll suck for the teams on rotation, gotta make a frag movie. You know, you gotta be getting those videos out regularly.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about the PR as well, right? You gotta promote yourself as a player. That was a really nice knock, by the way, from Rafa. We've seen that replay knock on Xeron. And Team Exile, they're gonna have to chill on the north side of the bridge. Obviously, they maybe want to catch a couple of the rotations. Team Diamond decided to go back towards the villa on the coast in Milta as well, so they know there's at least one team that needs to cross. While we are seeing here on the minimap, there's multiple teams that need to cross as well. They're probably going to opt for that right bridge as well. And it's very interesting to see, though, that no one is camping left bridge. I've seen a couple of teams passing through. There was one team looting the left bridge relatively close, but they just kind of like, it was Team LC, if I remember correctly, but they just kind of like let the Team MG go. A lot of teams managed to cross on the left bridge, while the right one is kind of pretty much stacked.
Yeah, I do wonder why that is. I think that Milta having so much cover around it is maybe a part of that, but it's still something that I've definitely wondered when casting is, okay, why do so many teams always end up stacking up on that right bridge, and then the teams on the left seem to just be chilling there and making a fairly easy rotation across? I think a big part of it is you'll often see teams actually camp that western bridge, arguably more than the eastern, so I'd maybe argue that that's a factor. I think a big contributing factor to any eastern bridge camps tends to usually be not necessarily because they want a bridge camp, more so because, okay, there's a team posted up down there, and a lot of other squads end up being hesitant in terms of their rotations across, and it causes a bit of a traffic jam is probably the best word up on that eastern bridge.
Yeah, definitely. As you're saying, I'm trying to figure out where Fade is gonna rotate. They were going towards the left bridge, and then they decided to drop down to where Ferry is going from. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they're gonna take the ferry to Novo Repnoy. Obviously, a couple of teams already there. 404 in the middle of Novo. Team Diamond managed to rotate with the boat. While we were talking just a bit earlier, Team Hit on the rotation as well, all the way on the eastern side of the circle in the boat, the whole team. While we have Team Want, which is on the bridge, on the north side of the bridge right now. Plus, we have 3 more teams rotating all the way from Toxic, Team TRP, Team GG, and as well as you can see all the way on the left, top left, rotating from Gatka, Team Koyer, which is probably going to have a relatively easy enter into the zone, considering they're probably going to take the left bridge.
Yeah, I mean, it's so open there. You got to think that just despite all of these teams, Phase 2 is going to pop hard to the west, right? Like, it's the only way. If there's no teams over there, the zone has to go there. It's just PUBG logic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're going to see nothing major is happening right now. We still have 16 teams alive, 62 players. And what did happen to our dear Adame, what was his name, who was proning in the trenches? He got picked by his teammate. I see Team GG is rotating with 4 players as well. So, well, he's up and running as well. Well, 3.5 men down to, it seems, only 3 men at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it seems they were able to get him up relatively safely, so credit to them for being able to do that. 3.5 men, though, they're going to try and deny this rotation as much as possible, as you see the shots already starting to come out from the big damage over towards the boats, but no real knocks being found. Sabotage should be able to get back into things, so 3.5 men back to their full 3.5, and not down to just a 3 this time around, as Phase 2, well, it's popped. We'll see when it starts making a move in about a minute.
Yet they did manage to find Roy. In the meantime, I was a little bit worried there for them trying to stop that rotation, because they had like 3x, Mutant, obviously not the guys that you opt for when you're playing competitive, but they did make a very early rotation. One of the teammates in 3.5 men, they have level 3 gear. They did take so I think Og before, and Duff, hello Duff, what are you, Duff? Where are you,
Okay.
Duff?
I love this observer bug. It happens so often on the ferry. It's just like, oh yeah, he's just chilling behind it, you know, grappling on. He's water skiing. Let's put it like that.
Definitely water skiing as it looks right now. I'd love to see where are other teams seeing Duff in this very situation? Like, is on some of the boxes, on some of the containers, or do they see him also like floating somewhere above? I gotta be honest, I haven't spotted it yet in my game, so I don't know how it looks from the player point of view.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a feature for observers, but I mean, if you saw that in game, you'd definitely be questioning a few things. You'd be checking your drink, making sure it's only water.
Yeah, you know. Well, I mean, it's December. It's December, Shanks, okay? So, I mean, potentially there can be something else in the glasses apart from the water as well. But let's not talk about that. Exile here trying to just hold this crossing, basically the bridge for them, crossing of the bridge for themselves. I mean, Want is really close, but I feel like Want is below the bridge, if I'm not. Yes, Want is below the bridge, if I'm not mistaken, because I was like, why is Exile looking towards there? So Want decided to go under the bridge, probably not having vehicles then as we speak. We're going to see that, and especially is going to be very important for them to find something if the zone shifts away from them. And I mean, what are the options the zone is going to stay partially towards the bridge?
I hope that it goes as far up
Of
towards
course you
that
do.
bridge as possible. I mean, you know me well enough by now. I love those bridge circles where teams are pulling their hair out. I like watching them suffer, okay?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely an option. I'm not saying it's gonna be like a huge, but you never know. At least give a little breather to Team One. If the circle goes towards them, they can just chill on the north. I mean, we're talking about the team which entered as team which was eighth best team overall from all the 3 groups, right? So they got a little lucky with that. Obviously, maybe they're gonna have a little bit more luck at this match as well. Team GG rotating, the last team that is rotating into the safe all the way from the left bridge. They were holding for so long. I thought they were gonna go Milta bridge, but they decided to rotate all the way to the left bridge, and it's a good call. I mean, considering the circle right now, it's a good call.
Yeah, it's a wide open circle as well. I mean, just look at the center of that circle. There's no teams inside it right now. Everyone is either playing melee base or playing a hillside. So if you're able to somehow make it into the center, get yourself one of those shelters under your control, you've got to be looking good. It's something we see a lot of the time in competitive, maybe not as strong in maybe your public or ranked matches, but those shelters in the center can be so powerful as 404 do everything they can to try and take control of the coast. There's a nice another knock onto the stake as Hulk Modus comes down below. Surely he's going to be able to find the knock onto one. That he does, or does he? Yes, he does. Doffy goes down as he spots out Ant as well. In comes the spray, and well, it's all over. 3.5 men out in 16th position.
Good play there from Hulk. He definitely feels probably more happy about this match than the first one. In the first match, he was the first player to die in that lobby. So good points for his team. Good start for them. Still 15 teams in the lobby, 54 players alive. As we're watching Fade having a little bit of a trouble with the rotation. That's the problem with the teams that decide to use boats and rotate to the island. It's very tough to get out of the areas because there's usually in lobbies like these, there is going to be a team like Diamond which is trying to hold your rotation. Even though I must admit, Diamond only on 2 players, so they're trying what they can by stopping a Team Fade, and some really, really nice shots from Bricks, but he's going to have to get that first aid because he's only down to 20 HP.
Yeah, not ideal there to be getting caught out in such a position, but it looks like Pixel will be able to get himself over to cover right now after taking a little bit of an opening. Fade are just going to be running their way in after maybe underestimating the zone a little bit, maybe. would be fair to say. They're out in Novo, and they have a long run to make if they want to make it in. Bearing in mind, that Radio Tower Hill is right up above, and look at this from Team Diamond right now. Nice shots landed over towards Fade earlier, so credit to them to actually still be standing after, you know, being completely open like that.
Yeah, definitely. Really nice shots from Bricks. And I have to mention the Team Coyer is getting crashed by one of the players from Team MG, even though Team Coyer took those bunkers in the middle of the zone, so it's gonna look pretty well for them, at least in the next couple of circles, as they still have all the 4 men standing. Rotation all the way on the south. Team GG rotated all the way onto the south of the circle, and they're right now fighting Team Incentive. I'm not seeing any knocks so far, but they're really, really close to each other, and it's just a matter of time they get into the fight.
Definitely feels like that, doesn't it? As now the zone getting ready to shift. Diamond will fall slightly before it in the zone. Well, it goes pretty hard up to the north, so a lot of squads are going to struggle with this one in terms of actually rotating into it. There's so much open terrain in this, and you got to think that teams like Gravity, like Team 1 up on the north right now, kind of run the zone and maybe control the game.
Yeah, Team Diamond out on the 15th position after the chicken dinner in the first match. They're definitely not satisfied with that, but it is what it is. Team TRP trying to hold off a Team RNG, even though there are 2 players from Team RNG that are going to stop on the top of the hill above them. So Torpok potentially in a lot of trouble, as these 2 men from Team RNG are buying enough time for their teammates to join the fight from the very north.
Yep, Skaldic looking out as now Torpok try to get involved. I'm not sure when they realize just how pinched they're going to be right now, though, as RNG get ready to come over the top. Torpok just laying low. Flink is still off in the side angle, prepared for a bit of a flank, if you pardon the pun, as now Renegades come up. The spray comes through. The headshot lands. And, well, Torpok maybe realizing that they've just let them slip right through their net.
Yeah, Flink on the flank. That was a very nice pun, Shanks. 100%. Awesome one. Levik here trying to spot some of the players from RNG, but he gets knocked in the process. Then he found him very nicely, and Flink now is going to have to try and push on the top of the hill to maybe spot one of the players, as his teammates definitely need help right now. Only down to Flink right now. He's trying to do what he can, but Torpok eliminated on 14th position. Really nice play from the Renegades here. They did buy enough time for 2 of their teammates to join the fight from the north side, and they're exiting this fight with 2 men standing.
Yep, nicely done to be able to salvage that one, but unfortunately taking casualties is not going to put you in good stead going into the later game, as Fade now, after taking casualties earlier on, are going to try and make themselves a move of their own. Maybe with a bit of success, though, as Darth is going to be getting spotted out here by taxis from Team Hit. He will remain in it, but that position now being given away by the audio. Let's see if Golden Gunners can maybe make something happen now.
Yeah, whenever I looked at the map, Golden Gunners were rotating in the car, so it was just a matter of time when they get into a lot of trouble. Obviously, we know how this circle plays. There's not a lot of playable area, so Golden Gunners right now doing what they can, down only to 2 men, trying to do what they can on the very edge of the zone. As I mean, they're in between Team Lost and in between Team Hit, so Fearless is gonna be maybe able to get that rest off, but they are not safe.
Absolutely not safe is going to be a very rare thing to find right now, as the zone pulls down to the south. Gravity and 1-2 teams that I was saying earlier maybe had the best positions, now absolutely not the case. They are going to have a rough time making it into this zone, as Golden Gunners do fall. Nice shots coming out there from Team Hit. It looks like Fade likely to follow suit, but first it's Pro's Pio that's going to be out of it.
This was really nice frag grenade. It bounced exactly where it needs to, but Ali didn't manage to get the knock yet. He's pushing very, very aggressively through the open field, but I mean, by now he had to count that they are already up on the legs, and as I'm saying that he got third-partied by the team Incentive on another side. So it was a very greedy and very aggressive push. Obviously, they don't have a lot of playable areas. So Team Hit, they need to find some space for themselves to maneuver. However, just pushing so greedily only for one knock towards that fence, you gotta know you're gonna be punished by the team like Incentive, which is holding top of the bunkers.
Yeah, and it seems like now they're going to try and punish even more. It's Team Hit that open up onto Duff right there with the knock. It leaves, I believe, only Klemeska left up in the fight, as Duff will just be double confirmed by the looks of things as they take shots over towards the body. Team Hit try and close the gap even more. 4 smokes left to work with, but they can't really use them just yet. They have to realize, look, we got to save some for these later fights because there's a whole lot more open terrain we're going to need to push through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they don't have a nice, they don't have good position for themselves. Obviously, they're just on the edge of the zone here right now, and they can work with it for some time. But it's just a matter of time before Incentive start shooting towards them. And even though we are seeing really nice effort from Team Heat, Blaze found Kus there. Found a knock, but he's definitely not going to be able to confirm that. However, that bought enough time for Fade to get back on the feet and try to do some damage to Team Hit, which is down to 2 players.
Taxi tries to send it in, gets taken down to low HP. You can see Pixel doing everything he can to be the final player standing. Out comes the Molotov, but it's not quite able to connect. That's a frag grenade. Never mind. Cosmic Taxis goes down as well. His teammate is going to be getting flushed out. Fade still just about remaining in it. With Blazes getting the revive, though, it'll be made a whole lot harder.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get some help from Team Incentive. Pixelic, well, I'm saying that he got eliminated. His team got eliminated on the 10th position. Team Incentive is having trouble of their own because they're sharing now the same bunker with the team Lost. One of the players from the team Lost got closer to the bunker, so that's my answer why Incentive wasn't shooting towards Team Hit, which is still up and running with 2 players. We're looking at the team Gravity. They're having their trouble of their own. Shocky here, last man standing for last chance, got eliminated on the 9th position, and Team Gravity is gonna have a little bit of a breather, but not for long because Team Exile just on the edge of the circle on top of the hill looking towards Gravity.
I said how important those bunkers and shelters can end up being, and I think that's being proven right now with just how those teams that are barely inside zone are able to hunker down with them, and they're pretty much dead center. Zeit, though, comes up round the back with the DPS. Will be able to find one. Needs to get that first aid off quickly because it's only a couple seconds till the zone moves. Martin Gaming send up a really nice pinch, though, as Zeit has been able to come in from behind, do the damage. Nidlam going to be watching from outside. Actually, almost throws down a smoke, maybe thinking it's a Molotov, but you got to think that right now for Koya, their options are limited because sure, Martin Gaming, they're only a 2-man, but there's going to be so many more teams after hearing this that are looking in this direction.
Yeah, I'm just actually surprised at Semi Toxic and his team and that they decided to stay on the edge of the circle as the circle rotated super far away from them. We already see 2 of their teammates who are helping them right now on the edge of the circle on one of the bunkers, and the Martin Gaming eliminated on the 8th position. Semi is going to get out of the factory alive. However, he has some like flat area to run through. Potentially, if maybe Gravity or Exile look towards him, they're going to have relatively easy shots towards him. But I feel like we're going to see fight between Gravity and Exile because they do not have anywhere to go. It's just a matter of seconds before the fight starts.
Yep, it definitely looks like that's about to go down as Blazes still just holds out on the edge. Now Exile do open up. It's Vixen to find that opening knock, but is it going to be enough? I guess only time will tell as Exile find themselves a second. Averick does end up going down. Nicely done as they remain 3 players strong. 3 kills in that back pocket. Nades are coming up over the top, but they're not quite able to connect as Teiji not able to see through the smoke and doesn't realize that the revive attempt was coming through. It will leave Johnny as the only player left up as more smoke start to plume. The fire comes in from the south, and it's going to be Sammy instead to find the kill onto Johnny. So down go Gravity. Exile getting a little bit of a rest, but they barely are inside zone right here.
Yeah, great spotting from Sammy. Toxic from Team Koyer, all the way from the bunker, shooting up on the hill, and Team Gravity got pinched between Team Exile and him. So good call, good shots from him, staying on the very edge there. I mean, Koyer Esports, they're still playing a little bit of a spread. They have two different bunkers. They're holding it by themselves. Still have Team Hit on the very edge of the zone alive. Team 404 on the very south. And here comes the rotation. They're sending it Team Exile. But are they going to make it? Chili here getting all the kills he can. Amazing performance right now for Team Koyer. 10 kills for them, 3 men standing.
Well, I think that answers your questions. Will they be able to make it? Hood, though, what a shot right there. Putting in work with the Bolty. Nice little headshot there earlier on in the game. As Team Hit now try to remain in it. Trafiq still here, just watching and waiting. Knows there are going to be players down below somewhere. As Phase 7 gets ready to make a move about 20 seconds away. Team Lost, maybe the squad that might be able to shut down 404 Error, because there's such an open area terrain the 404 are going to have to cross.
Yeah, definitely. They were looking towards that direction, but I see now that they're looking all the way around, so they're not 100% sure there is someone behind that fence. And I mean, 404, they have, like, their options are super limited right now. You do not want to be Team 404. That's the only team that has to move right now towards the zone, so it's just a matter of time before someone spots them. And Hulk, as I'm saying that, Hulk goes down. Arn as well. We're going to be saying goodbye to Team 404 Error on 4th position. I mean, considering the terrain they had to work with, exiting this match as being 4th, it's, I mean, okay, I guess.
I mean, it's not winner chicken dinner. You get points for that. Nice work, though, from Chili to be able to shut that down. I'm happy we got the replays all working here now. They're always an exciting one to watch, seeing the plays that players make that maybe we miss every now and then. And Koya, well, they have been farming 3 players strong, but still 10 kills to go alongside it. The same could be said for Lost here. 8 kills so far. Both teams going to be looking for chicken dinner, but, I mean, getting into this placement, this amount of kills, they've got to be feeling good no matter what.
Incentive being very passive this match. I mean, obviously playing from the middle of the bunkers, you don't have a lot of the area that you can scout and check, but 3 men in 1 bunker, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays, because they have lost on top of their bunker with also 3 men standing. Koyer on the other side, it's just a matter of time before this phase closes. People are going to start, players are going to have to start putting those smokes and utilities down. And obviously, Team Incentive really having a lot of luck right now. They're going to just have to be passive, but it's always tough for me to decide. I mean, it's a safe area to be in, right? The bunker. But at some point, you're going to have to get out. And when you have to get out from a place which has only one way in, one way out, if you're playing against the team that can hold that really well, you don't have a lot of options.
No, I mean, options are very limited, but we've seen it happen before. If you're able to use that util effectively, nade out, maybe get an opening bit of damage, then just push out as a team, it can work out really well. But we'll see. I mean, there's so much still up in the air. Obviously, Koya Esports still need to try and make their way in, as Lost are just trained on them right now. I think that, I mean, Lost have to know Incentive are down below, right? There's no way they don't know at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of the guys from Incentive, they had to at least swap the weapon or something. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was at least some audible sign for the team Lost. And they still see, of course, there's 9 players left alive. They know that this is the open bunker. So I'm pretty sure they can, at least anticipate there's someone below them, if nothing else. Koyer Esports here trying to get the smoke wall down so they can get closer to Team Lost. It seems like Koyer Esports is not leaving anything to the case. They're going very aggressively, and we're looking now at Hood with a... Ooh, that was really close. If that sniper shot landed, that would be a lot of problems for Team Lost. But right now, Koyer in a lot of trouble right now as Cookie finds Chili.
Yep, Hood going to continue taking shots up there, but isn't quite able to connect. Just going to be landing a little bit short on the rock in front as Hood now looking up over the top. He's got the bolt. Let's see if he can make any magic happen, but it's hard at this close range to be able to do something with it. And well, there's a reason the DMR is king at close range. Nice knock coming through there as now Sammy realizes he has to make himself a bit of a push here for Koya Esports. 5 kills so far on his name, but is he going to be able to rack up more? Swings a little bit wide there with the flashbang. The nade rolls through towards him as well. He goes for the first aid kit, and it just about works out as the Molotov has connected onto one. He holds the corner. Lost start to move in from behind. Sammy goes out for the peak, does a little bit of damage, but he's all out of nades, and well, at this point, all out of time. Sanya finishes off the job, and now it's Lost versus INC in a 3 versus 3. And well, Lost kind of have control here. It might just come down to a med battle.
Yeah, definitely. Lost has the upper ground, so it's going to be relatively easy to get those initial knocks. I mean, he can probably even see top of the heads as these smokes are going to start and get removed. But I'm just trying to figure out what can they even. Yeah, they can. Incentive can get out of the. I thought they blocked themselves completely with the vehicles, but they have some of the area they can work with. However, I mean, when we look at the position of Team Lost, they have just the perfect angles. One guy on top of the bunker, a Cookie here on the left side of the bunker as well. TN holding the right side. They all have covers. They have rocks. They have higher ground, and they have 10 kills as well. Let's not forget that they're playing very good and very aggressive. They won that chicken dinner after the initial match, which was relatively good for them, but they probably, considering the zone and everything, expected more from the first match. So they definitely hungry to get the chicken dinner here.
Yeah, feeling good about themselves as now you can see Lost try to make the final stand. Obviously, Trafik up above is just going to be able to farm down on towards Cuts. Out comes the opening knock, but the zone is going to force them to make a move. Down goes one. Sanya going to be the one to open things up right there as TN tries to hold the side. Nice little spray, but it's not going to work out. Boykit's going to be the final player left up, but the zone is actually the real winner. Doesn't even need to fire a shot to win the game. It's Team Lost picking themselves up an 11-kill chicken dinner. We spoke about how effective those bunkers can be, but they can be so hard to get out of, and it looks like we're learning that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Incentive was holding the bunker really good, but at that very situation when the zone is pushing you out, when you're zone 9, everybody has to move. Even with all those throwables that you have very limited options because it's always that one entrance, one way in, one way out. And if the players like Lost manage to hold that entrance, it's just a matter of time before you lose your lives, as we've seen, and of course with the help of Blue a little bit. I think we're ready to go back to the studio after this game, but stay with us. We have 3 more matches to go.
It's the end of game number 2. But before we continue, we want to say thank you to our amazing partner, PaySafeCard, who didn't only provide for our MVPs, they actually didn't forget about you guys. So what you need to do is go to our official tournament website, which is Samsung Odyssey Masters.com. Go to PaySafeCard Pick'ems, enter your picks and win. And 10 of you lucky winners will win 10 50 euros vouchers of PaySafeCard.
That's right. And so let me explain to you the way it works. Basically, you get a PaySafeCard prepaid code at, let's say, a grocery store or maybe a petrol station near you, which depends on where you actually live. So different places will be available for you. And then you use it as a voucher. You put in your 16-digit code, type it in. Super easy, super fast. You don't need any bank account, you don't need any credit card, and that's it. Voila, you just type in the code and you're ready to go.
Yep, and what is also easy, if you want to create a PaySafeCard account. It is free sign up, and of course, what makes it so awesome, you can store all of your codes in one place. You have cost control at any given time, and of course, if you want to pay with it, it is that simple. You just use your username and password and you are ready to go. So thank you, PaySafeCard, for these amazing giveaways. Comments on the team.
Well, before I comment on the game, I would also love to just remind all of you that you should check out our social media for the results of Pick'em.
Sure.
So the Pick'em is open for every day. In the past, it was for every single day of the tournament. So it's open for relegations. And after each day on Good Game Global social media, you will find a list of winners. If you find yourself on there, well, congratulations. And of course, just for every other update and everything else, make sure you follow the social media, Good Game Global, and there's Samsung Odyssey Masters.com for all the schedules and everything else. What about the game?
Yes.
What about the game?
Yes.
What about it? A lot about it.
A lot about it. We would
For
actually...
starters,
Yes.
Lost has won a chicken dinner.
Yeah, Lost has won a chicken dinner and once again eliminated 404. That was amazing.
Yeah.
It was this time in the last four.
404 made it
Yes.
to the top four.
Yes.
404 top four.
Made it
Get
to
it?
the top four.
And it was interesting to see actually Incentive as well. We're in top four. And both Incentive, what I said after first game, both of them had won a chicken dinner in the past in their
Yes.
group. So it was the qualifiers group A, day 2. And
Yes.
Lost had a chicken dinner, Incentive had a chicken dinner, but it would be the best if we would take a look at the leaderboard.
Exactly.
And see how we are standing right now. Well, maybe in a couple of more moments.
Yes. we need a couple of more.
I think we should talk about what stuck out to you the most in this game.
Okay. So we have this last fight where Traffic, I'm sorry for butchering, but he was on top as a hawk. I love the positioning. I love those skills there. What did I write down? Oh, yes. So 404 in the game number 1 actually fell down first, but this time they were the first one to eliminate another team. So
Yeah.
good job there. I think that
really
was awesome.
Awesome to see. Yeah,
Yes, that was awesome. The circle, Sosnovka Island.
Sosnovka.
I don't know. Every
The
time I
military
see it
base.
so early on, and you see every single one on the rest of the island, and you have Sosnovka there, and guys, everyone has to go down there. I don't know. It's always crazy to
I
me.
always just wait for the bridge camping.
Yes.
And for the ship rotations, which we've seen in the
we've seen
past.
some pirates there.
Yeah, we've seen Torpok again in their little
We
boat.
mentioned.
Okay, we're going to mention it.
Yes, I think we're gonna
no,
mention.
Not a shame. It was a funny moment.
No, it was an amazing moment. It was in the group stages where all of the guys from Tortok, they decided to go on an adventure to pick up, I think it was
Sailors.
the first drop. And it was amazing. They were on the tiny boat for years. It took years. It was amazing. But I think we're ready for the leaderboards. Let's leave the groups there. So let's check out where are our standings.
Ooh, look at that. Team Lost.
This is amazing. Team Lost on first spot. They have 21 kills and 33 points in total. And here we see one chicken dinner, as well as Team Diamond holding on strong on the second place with 11 kills. And we have total of 21 points. Lost really got a lot of points in these two games. They had an
They
amazing
had
first
a
start.
good amount of kills in game number 1.
Yes, and those were really, really early kills. We have Koyer. Koyer actually performed really good this time. Yes, and we have 12 kills on there and 17 points, but anything can change.
Yeah, anything can change. And sorry to see Team Last Chance on last spot because it is their last chance. Guys, get it together. Okay, I think we have Damage up next. Last match, what we saw at the end of the match, really nice performance. Let's see, Team Diamond, Zambari with 5 kills, but of course on number 1 spot, 3.5 man Mistake with 8 kills. He had
7 kills in game 1.
That is exactly what I wanted to say.
Yes.
Let's see how we're doing on damage.
Let's see the damage leaderboard. Wow, the guys from Lost are nothing but lost in this game. Like first two spots go for Trifec and TN. We then have, of course, Mistake, who has most of the kills. And then congratulations to Daisy.
Daisy had those nice nades in game number 1.
Yes. And we
there's
have, of
Sammy
course,
Toxic.
Yeah.
Sammy Toxic, who I believe Team Koyer is going to, do some action again on Relegations. So that's it for the leaderboards. We're going into game number 3. Please stay with us. Keep your eyes on the screen for the giveaways, and take it away, Sanson and Chunks.
So, one more wrangle left to go this evening, of course, followed by 2 Miramar. We're starting to see how the leaderboards are settling up right now. We're starting to see a couple squads tearing away from the pack and a couple squads that really need to step things up.
Definitely. Lost and Team Diamond both holding chicken dinners first and second position or on our leaderboard. But let's not forget about team like Koyer Esports, which managed to jump 9 positions and it's now holding third position, even though they don't have chicken dinner yet. But there are still 3 matches to go tonight. So last Erangel, we're going to see how this is going to play. We have seen both matches, which have been really nice. Team Lost was definitely the most constant in both those matches. As we know, in the last match, Team Diamond, they won the chicken dinner in the first match, but in the second match, they died relatively early in the game. So it's all about that constance, Chuck.
Yeah, it's about being able to set it up consistently. So let's hope that these squads are going to be able to do exactly that. And we should probably point out as well, even though Team Lost were there able to pick up an insane number of points, they only actually moved 1 position up the leaderboard. It shows that they were really productive in that first match. It wasn't just a case of having a second game fluke like some teams often will, where they have one rough match, they have a good one, you think, oh, it's a sign of life, and things start to slip apart. No, I think for Team Lost, it is a really positive thing. Credit to Koya, though, as well, to also be able to move up to third. That's 9 positions they managed to gain that match.
Yeah, absolutely. Great performance for them. But as we know, only two teams are going forward. So we just want to see all of these teams, and especially the teams from the bottom of the leaderboard. Some of them we were expecting a little bit more from. So let's see, and let's hop into our third match tonight to see if some of these teams are going to shine.
Oh, he's spoiling us. He's got a shack in it this time around.
Oh my God.
Kovo, you're not getting paid enough. I don't know how much you're getting paid, but to be spoiling us like this, they better be treating you well.
Absolutely. I feel like Kovo is doing that little just he has this little brainstorming meeting with himself, like trying to figure out how to impress us further, which shot to get into before the plane for now, because I mean he's doing an amazing job. Let's be honest. Every single time tonight, at least we got like in the exact right moment the best cinematics ever. So thank you so much, Kovo, for that.
Yeah, he's definitely got like a little notebook here, just like, okay, how do I impress them? He's spending all his off time in observer mode, just flying around, trying to find some nice cinematic angles. But you know what? He's killing it. Respect to him there.
Definitely. If we're gonna do our ever frag movies, Shanks, we're definitely gonna ask Kovo for some professional opinion on some of the intro scenes. Our third plane of the night. Looking really good, going all the way from Primorsk to Kameshki. Really nice plane. Every single team can reach their destination. Obviously, probably teams are not going to loot Novo or Zharki in this situation, but this plane can mean a lot of things. One of those things, Shank, is that potentially, what we said, the nicer the plane, the crazier the circle.
Hey, keeping my fingers crossed. And, well, yeah, I mean, not wrong judging by that one. It's kind of 50-50. This could absolutely, if it pulls down to the south, cause hell for these players.
This could be the bridge ending, Shanks, and I know you
so.
definitely hope for it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Team Lost decided this time to jump on Melee Island again. However, they're the only team this time to be on the melee, so they're gonna have a free rotation towards the bridge when needed. Team Gravity closest to the bridge from the north side, and as well Team Diamond, which usually I think Team Diamond usually goes to Milta as well. This time they're looting bunkers and shelters, so seems like a pretty decent position for them. While we're seeing on the left side of the circle, there are so many teams that are going to have to find their rotation in.
I can't help but think as well, surely the Northern team should have learnt from last game, like, hey, maybe we should try something a bit different. But no, they're committing to it. So they are going to have a very long rotation when that finally does come around. So good luck to them is all I can say. Let's hope you don't end up getting all caught at the bridge together, because there's a lot of big names there. And you know that if they end up fighting over at the bridge, it's going to be a very long, drawn-out one.
Absolutely. We're seeing Team Martin Gaming, which is usually looting Rojok. I know some of these guys, they play really, really well. They're sitting, they're not doing too well tonight. They're sitting on the 15th position. I somehow expect a little bit more from them, but we're going to see how things are going to work out for them. Obviously, it's a very strong lobby, right? So we already mentioned that earlier. This relegation phase is all the teams from qualification phase from the 3rd to 7th position plus the 8th position, which had the most points in all three groups. Obviously, it's all the teams that know how to play well, that know how to frag. However, I mean, you just have that last chance. Relegation group is the last chance to be in the top 2 teams to get through into the finals of this amazing tournament. So they better step it up, Shanks. They better do.
Yeah, and that's something that these teams have maybe struggled with, you know, performing under pressure is something that is maybe one of the things that I would attribute a lot of their performances in the previous rounds to, because there were a couple teams that are in this lobby that will look in really strong to go through as a clear qualifier, a clear top 2 probably from the previous round, but weren't able to do that. I think a lot of that, unfortunately, has to be put down to pressure, and I just hope it doesn't take effect tonight, because this would be the worst time for it to possibly happen when it is literally your last chance to qualify for the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking at a couple of teams like Exile Esports, Fade, which are not sitting high on the leaderboard right now. Fade on the 8th position, Exile on the 10th position. They really want to get those matches. They really want to get those points going and the constant to start running. I mean, obviously, it's not end of the day, it's not end of the world if today they don't do well because there are 5 more matches tomorrow. But still, we're talking about how good it feels when you end up day 1 with good results and you don't have that much of a stress. Like if you end up day 1 with like average or bad results, it means that tomorrow you have pressure on yourself. On top of all the pressure, which a lot of people and players are experiencing, you have additional pressure of, you have to have an amazing day to maybe pull it through. So it's kind of, it's way easier. Oh, we were looking at Daisy, who lost his car, didn't he?
Oh, poor guy. He's
Aw.
just rolling off without him. I
Yikes.
thought he'd be able to get it. That's unfortunate there. That's not the way you want to go. At least he didn't fat finger F while he was still moving at full speed. So think of the positives, you know?
F's in the chat, everybody. It is what it is for him. He's going to have to continue without the vehicle. I mean, he was on the dirt road, so probably there are some vehicles relatively close that he's going to be able to grab. But so far, he lost 1. Team 404 down to 3 men. We lost a mayor in the process. They're having this decent compound for themselves, obviously. They're being able to hold this for I mean, if the circle goes towards them, it's a great place to be at. However, they're sitting on the, let's say, west-ish edge of the circle. I would be surprised actually if the circle rotates to them. However, I've seen a lot, so it could be possible. But in the case they're going to have to move, they have a lot of playable area down the coast. As I can see, everything is still free. We're watching Renegades here drive-bying one of the guys, and I haven't seen who did they get, but that was a nice kill for them.
Yeah, it's really nicely done. Always a positive when you're able to pick yourself up an extra free kill or 2 on the rotate. It's always a positive sign. It's better than losing a player on the rotate, which is definitely probably a bit more common than being able to just hit a bit of a drive-by. So nicely done. It looks like Golden Gunners, though, they are not done as they now start making a push over towards Fade. They may end up trying to play the same compound, which up against a squad like Fade is probably not advisable, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, definitely. They're circling around trying to figure out if there's someone, and Luke now finally started to shoot some shots towards Team GG, and now again I'm seeing Team GG just driving around in the cars, trying to figure out where they can stop for a little bit. I mean, this building, this little house in the deep, which they chose for themselves, it's an okay place to be if you're playing for positions. But however, if you are trying to get some points, which you need for this lobby, you need to start stacking those points from kills. It's maybe not the best place to stay at.
I like that replay there from Pixel. I don't think either of us clocked onto it. Really nice pull-up coming out from him to be able to pick up those kills. Nicely done. Showing that, 300 ping, it makes no difference when you're just that good.
Yeah, I mean, when you're just that good, you can probably just, play with the opposite hands as well, and it's gonna, somehow work out for you. I don't know, when I play, I always have this idea that I'm gonna just pull it, that way, but when I try to execute it, it just doesn't go as planned.
I feel that. The number of times where I've gone to hit my seat swap key and accidentally hit F, it's embarrassing.
Oh.
So you're not alone there. You're not alone. It happens to the best of us. Look, I mean, I'm a little surprised here that every single team is banking on it going north. If this pulls down to the south, it'll be an exciting one, I know, but it'll also cause major problems for so many of these teams. And the squads that have maybe banked over towards gas station, for instance, squads like Lost are going to be looking really strong in terms of those later game phases when that rotation does really become important to them.
Yeah, definitely. Lost has, in my opinion, really good position for themselves, because in the case what you mentioned earlier, if the circle decides to shift back towards the bridge, they're going to hold a lot of teams and potentially have yet another great match for themselves. We are looking at the team which is sitting on the first position right now after 2 matches. Team Hit, we definitely expect a lot from them. They didn't, I mean, they're sitting on a respectable 7th position, but considering they only lacked 1 point to qualify in the group stage. I mean, I think actually 4 points to qualify. They are definitely one of the teams that were supposed to be in the finals already, let's put it that way. And they want to definitely be in those top 2 teams. However, sitting on the 7th position right now, they need an amazing match for themselves to prove themselves further.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know, being that team that doesn't quite make it into the top end of things when you have a really strong performance in group stages. It puts you in a tricky spot coming into relegation. Everyone has eyes on you as a squad that everyone just thinks, oh, they're going to dominate. They've done a really good squad they've done a really good job over in the early stages, so we expect them to do the same. So a lot of pressure on them. I just hope that they're able to deliver, because we know they're an impressive team. It's just a question of actually being able to do it now in relegation when it really does matter, because otherwise, well, bad luck. You're not making it to the final.
Yeah, Team 3.5 Men trying to crash compound, where Team Diamond holds with, I think, only 2 players, however. Yeah, definitely only 2 players. They managed to get 1 knock on Duffy, but Jembury here is going to try to get yet another angle. 3.5 Men, they also have 2 members of the squad on the north of the hill, so I'm not sure if this was bright idea to push outside, but however, really nice play by Jembury there. He's going to be able to get back through the window without dying to 3.5 Men who are shooting him from at the top of the hill. Set on there, however, in the little shack, he's going to have to smoke his way out and try to get back into the garage, as 3.5 Men is going to have to continue with only 2 men.
Yeah, well, that's the danger you take in a position like that. There's always the potential of crashes coming through, and well, we saw how it unfolded there. Exile going to maybe try and make the most out of this crash, though, as they do hear the vehicles coming through. Vixen is there with a really nice spray, barely any bullets in the gun, so really impressive to actually make that one count, land the spray, and obviously be able to get the knock followed by the kill.
Yeah, very, very nice knock by Nixon there, 3x barrel. We know how hard it is to control that gun, especially on the distance above 50 meters. So definitely impressive by him. 3.5 Men now down to only 1 man. I mean, it's kind of unlucky when you get a team which has some certain number in their name, and then they're always like lacking 1 player or 2 players. Now 3.5 Men only down to 1. It feels like I'm doing some wordplay, but it actually affect what I'm saying. It's just that I'm breaking my tongue a little bit. It is what it is for them. Only continuing with just 1 player left while we're watching at Core Esports. Here's a really nice replay. What is Hood going to do here? Very, very nice. A spray. Ooh, this is a double spray. Impressive by Hood. 2 points for Koyer.
Impressive to see. It's always nice that we get the replays. So exciting to see how they're going to be used, whether we'll be able to get a nice highlight package at some point tonight, because we've caught a lot of good ones. I just hope we can continue to. Golden Gunners, though, are going to look to try and get themselves some highlight clips as they get aggressive over towards RNG. They do need to be careful, though. Obviously, Edam's laying low, not wanting to give too much away, but when that time comes, you bet you know that he is going to be striking and going to try and pick up every kill he can.
Edam's definitely chilling. It seems like it's these chilling modes are really good for him. Whenever we look at him, he has no other option but to chill, either prone in the trenches or hiding in the shack a little bit. In the meantime, we've seen Hood getting yet another knock with a sniper on the kill feed. So that was probably also a really, really impressive. Maybe we're going to get a replay on that. While we were looking at Team Lost, the circle rotated away from them. It rotated away from the bridge a little bit towards north. Two teammates from Lost are already inside the zone. And the last 2 are trying to get their rotation in. Probably gonna try to get nice rotation. It's gonna probably be the rotation towards Shark Compound with the boat from TN. So that's pretty good idea, considering Team Hid decided to kind of like close their way in towards the safe. Even though I'm watching Traffic right now, who is rotating with the vehicle, maybe gonna be heard by one of the guys from Hit, but he has lower ground, so I think he's gonna be able to make it at least to the Shark Compound, if nothing, or maybe just directly to his teammates.
Yeah, I think it's important to touch on here just how open this zone is for anyone who maybe isn't too familiar with PUBG, maybe hasn't played it too much. This is a brutal zone right here. Everything around that farm area completely open. Other than that, it's just really open hillsides up to the north, really open fields really far to the north. So it's going to be really rough for so many of these squads to make it in, which is why we see so many teams all clustering out on the west where there's a huge hill with a bit of cover to make it up. Every team is really just hoping for the best and hoping they'll be the lucky ones to actually break through off of this hillside.
Yeah, definitely. There are a couple of teams that are rotating towards the dirt road. I'm seeing Team Want that is going directly towards Team Exile. Probably going to be a fight over there. Gravity Creslow finds one knock on Rory's in the meantime, and now a lot of people are rotating as I'm speaking right now. We're not Toxic eliminated on the 16th position. They were rotating very early, maybe for this circle even too early considering they were just on the edge of the zone. But now also, Team 404 eliminated on the 15th position as well, and that's 2 points for Team Martin Gaming, which is trying to get a little bit closer to the. Oh my God, they're fighting Renegades as well as we speak. There was some third party going on, and Team Martin Gaming looks like they surrounded the whole Team Renegades.
Yeah, Martin Gaming did a really good job there to be able to capitalize, but it is going to be Renegades who find themselves the opening knock. Nidlam there to try and return a bit of fire as he does take down Squinty. Renegades now in quite a bit of trouble, but Martin Gaming still with a player knocked. They're going to try and finish up the job. That's exactly what they'll do. Beautiful sprays all around there for Martin Gaming to be able to pick up those kills, finish off the fight, and now they've opened themselves up a little, but you can see INC down on the south starting to get involved. They want to move in through a similar rotation, and Edams, well, he's doing exactly the opposite. He's just laying low and trying to sneak out of here.
Yeah, he's kind of just chilling on the lower side, just behind the back of the Team Incentive, which tried to get some, obviously first into the zone and then maybe some of the kills in the process. But Team Incentive, that they do not have cars. They decided to push on foot. There were a lot of vehicles left behind, and that's very interesting idea by them. I'm very actually even confused why they decided to leave those vehicles behind, especially when we know they're going to need a lot of cover from the vehicles, considering how the zone is rotating. Team Martin Gaming, in the meantime, they managed to rotate into the safe, at least 2 guys, while 2 more are just behind the back of Team Incentive, and then maybe potentially spot each other, even though they can play different side of the ridges. So maybe they don't have to fight, but it's probably likely they will at some point.
Yeah, I like the stealth approach, though, honestly. I got to give them credit there. They're going, not taking any vehicles, an attempt to try and avoid making noise. Whether that's the right play or not, I guess we'll see when things unfold for them, when they do finally have to make a big rotation if the time comes. As a lot of other teams really are relying on vehicles. You can see that Team Hit are one of those, just pulling up at the shack, hoping for the best, but those tires are wide open to the team in the compound, which means they are getting popped in no time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have a little breeder here for themselves. They found Shek, which is relatively in the circle, a little bit more inside than the very edge, but they have at least something to work with. Team Diamond holding the very east side of the circle. They're just a little bit outside. They can obviously play the whole dirt road at some point, but they're now shooting the rotation from the team Lost, which is going to be interesting for us to see, because Lost is right now, we're talking about 2 teams which are on the top of the leaderboard. But meanwhile, we're seeing Adams here, who managed to sneak just behind Team Incentive and grab 1 kill for his team.
Really sneaky play right there. You got to bear in mind just how split him and Darth actually are. They are nowhere near each other, so every kill he's able to get is going to be a bonus. He nearly grabs another, but unfortunately not going to be able to find that line of sight at the final seconds as he tries to run through. Martin Gaming now going to be aware of the position and definitely playing accordingly. A little bit more cautious, a little more afraid to peek over the ridge, and well, they scout him out and pick up the kill. Edam's going to be going down and out of it here. Golden Gunners now with only a solo as Martin do everything they can to try and capitalize.
Yeah, very nice play by Side here. 8 kills for his team as Incentive is being eliminated on the 13th position. Martin Gaming going strong with 4 men alive, but we're seeing Team A Last Chance getting closer. They want to get involved. They've seen some knocks going on, and there is a fight going on as well. While we're looking at the mayhem, whatever is going on here on the very road, Team TRP fighting a Koyer Esports, who are only down to 2 men, as Sammy's trying to find some connected shots, but his vision is very blurred. There's a lot of smoke in front of him, and he has very limited options. He can only pick one angle, and Team TRP is trying to get their teammate up on the legs, and they're probably going to be able to do so. As Foreign is only down to 17 HP, he has to retreat and pop that first aid, while Sammy decided to push all the way to the road. Amazing play by Sammy, and he managed to find one more guy from TRP. TRP only down to 2 men.
Yeah, Koei Esports doing really well in terms of capitalizing on this as the player starts to come through there from Sammy. Chili is round the back, able to take down Scout King. That, I believe, only leaves one left up from Torpar, because they do end up falling. The nade is there to finish off the job. Nicely done from Last Chance to finish off the job there. Martin Gaming do also fall as well. So we are now into the top 10, but phase 5, and it means that, well, the zone is going to be very open for a lot of these squads. Some more are going to fall. Speaking of whom, Diamond finish off Lost. So now Mistake is the final player for 3.5 men. Just going to keep an eye out and hopefully find himself an exit kill or two.
Team Diamond managed to, we didn't manage to cover all of the fights that were going on at the same time, but this was very important for the Team Diamond to wipe Team Lost, which were holding the first position until now. Team Diamond going strong all the way on the right side of the circle, holding the eastern side, and they now have a lot of playable area on the dirt road, so it's looking really well for them. Wow, it's not looking too well for Fade. They're playing only with 3 men as Pixelic went down. We are looking at a 2 versus at least 3 guys, 2 versus 4 versus Last Chance, who decided to turn around. They were trying to push Martin Gaming, but now they decided to turn towards south and fight Team Fade, which is only down to 2 players.
Yeah, not sure whether this is going to be the best play now, as they are going to be caught. 3.5 men could absolutely start getting involved on this, but it definitely seems like they're going to try and fully commit and finish off Fade, as Luke now just going to be laying down prone, waiting for those players to come up. Goes down prone again, makes the recoil a whole lot easier, but instead switches over to the nade. This could be absolutely massive. Out it comes. Sprays also connecting, but are they going to be enough? Seemingly so. Shocky, Trash, both end up falling as Luke is there with the mini. Can't quite finish off the job, but you know what? He'll do a hell of a lot of damage. The Molotov sprays all coming out from Dub. Finish off the job. Fade Gaming fall, but Schluppy the only player left.
Oh my god, this actually probably feels really bad for Team Fade right now. They managed to get 3 knocks, however, didn't capitalize on any single one of them. Very, very unlucky scenario for them, as Team LC is going to continue this match with all 4 men standing. It's always that bitter feeling when you manage to get some really, really good play, but there's one more man, and which is going to get all the teammates up, so you're not getting any points from that amazing play, but it is what it is. Team Gravity down to 3 players only. They're playing south side of the circle. They have a hit member very close to them in prone, in their relatively close proximity. Just the next rock, Tessie is looking towards there. It feels like he knows there's someone around it. He probably anticipates, but as I'm saying, one of the teammates got knocked, so Tess is going to have to focus on either arresting or trying to get the kill down on Texas, as Texas is back to prone and just buying some time for himself.
Yeah, Taxi, he's just waiting there, hoping for the best, but you got to think the shots he's taken are going to alert Team Diamond, so they must be looking down in this direction, knowing there's someone around, but it doesn't appear that they have that line of sight or even the high ground to work with, as Gravity just hold. Averick still keeping an eye out. Tessie has been spotted. Taxis is there to get the knock, followed in by a second. Nicely done. Team Hit remaining in it, but look at that. 3 bullets in reserve. He needs to get himself this flush and quick if he's going to confirm the kill, but unfortunately shoots over towards the motorcycle by mistake. 28 bullets now as he drops everything out of the mini. Averick throws down a smoke, and this could just be a war of attrition that unfortunately Taxis isn't prepared to win.
Yeah, Texas is not getting given the heal off. I'm not sure. He probably doesn't have a lot of gear left, as he was severely damaged on his way here. But right now, Aveirik managed to find him, but at what expense? He lost 2 of his teammates, and I'm just really confused because they knew there was one player there, and they managed to turn their back towards him and lose 2 players in that fight. It wasn't the best play for them. I must admit, Team Diamond getting more and more control over the circle as they're getting further into the. They're following the dirt road, getting into the middle of the circle, and it looks like at some point Koyer Esports, they were holding north side of the circle. However, they decided to turn around towards west and see if they can maybe get some of the kills for themselves. As we are looking the fight between Exile and a Team LC Tazinoct.
Anacron right now in a pretty rough position, but that doesn't matter when Koya Esports falls, so do Last Chance. Nicely done by Exile, but they're going to need to get themselves some more util, some more gear, and of course some more ammo as 5 teams now remain. 11 players left standing as the circle closes in. Mistake is going to be the solo for 3.5 men, doing what he can to remain alive as he just sneaks through. Diamond must know there's someone over here as Zeron starts to sweep. It doesn't appear that he has the line of sight, and I think Mistake is just about in zone as well, so no real concern here for 3.5 men, at least until the next phase.
Yeah, Mistake from 3.5 men, if I'm not mistaken. He managed to surprise 2 players from Koyer Esports and get a double kill for him. So obviously, Xeran and Brix from Team Diamond, they know there is one player sneakily somewhere behind at the rocks on the edge of the zone. Team Diamond now complete control over the circle. Right now, they're just the 3 of the players. They're pushing.
Ooh, that nade.
Oof, this was a really good nade by Jamboree. So Exile right now in a lot of problems right now. I mean, they can rotate all the way down to the south. However, there are a lot of solos around them. The Dart just behind the back from Rafa, potentially gonna get knocked if Dart decides to shoot. I mean, obviously he has to move first, so Dart maybe is going to get away his position by making some noise. However, they all have to pass Team Diamond, which is now getting an amazing control over circle. And I'm just not seeing, if some of the solos don't make the difference, I don't see how Exile is going to have any better luck than all those solos. Because, I mean, look at this circle. It just, everyone has to go towards Diamond.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. Diamond, though, just completely running things out on this hillside. Sure, they're a little bit exposed. I think the argument could be made, but they just have so much high ground, so much info to work with. As Zeron opens up with the shots, you've got to think that all of these teams are kind of under the control of Diamond, and if they play it properly, they control the zone, keep the pressure going out, then everyone is going to have to funnel the way that they choose. A nice nade landing close to Mistake, but unfortunately isn't there to finish off the job. But now as the zone closes in, well, they've got to read a Mistake. He's just going to deny the points.
Yeah, Mistake definitely denying at the point there. 1 point less for Team Diamond, but it doesn't mean a lot as Diamond is continuing with all 4 men. I mean, this fight was bought a lot of time for Team Exile to find their way into the circle through the south side. Obviously, there is one more Gravity member just in prone. I'm not sure. I mean, Exile knows there is more than one team alive, but maybe Team Diamond is not sure they're playing versus one solo as well, who's just chilling in the prone on the edge of the zone on the south side, potentially gonna be able to make some difference if no one pays attention to them. But right now, Team Diamond has really nice overview. They know all of the players are on the side of the circle because they have been controlling the north side so much. And right now, the zone is in Jamboree's hand. I feel like zone is just the epicenter is directly on that sniper tower.
It certainly feels that way. Zembri looking out. He spotted out Rafa and a beautiful headshot to connect onto him. Zeron needs to use this info immediately. The Molotov, though, I don't think that's the play. I think if you've got the info, you know there's a player down below, just go for a peek. There's a smoke there you can use for cover. You know he's round the back of it, and now the flashbangs are going to be getting returned. Zeron, by throwing down those nades, has given away a decent amount of info. Sure, Exile still have the low ground to try and navigate, but I think he could have picked himself a relatively easy knock right there if he had chosen to attack.
Yeah, it could have been. But the only problem was he is not sure. There's still 4 men alive along with their squad, so he wasn't sure about the positioning of the other potential teammates. So maybe he could have gotten a knock on Rafa, but he wasn't sure whether Rafa is going to get refragged. So maybe at some point, I mean, throwing mollies, obviously it's not a secure kill, but at least you are not exposing yourself. As we can see, Vixen has like a really nice overview of the whole reach. So if Xeron potentially peeked that, he could have gotten knocked. But right now, Xeron picked this very, very nicely, exposing only what he needed, getting the first kill on the Team Exile for his team. And right now, they're definitely making the move, trying to make more aggressive play. Let's not forget that everybody forgot about a player left from Gravity, but right now he's the last man standing, and Team Diamond knows they're versus only one player. And I mean, we could maybe even ask for a little pan kill or something like that.
Hey, I'm holding out for it. Zembri's getting aggressive. He knows where the solo is. He went for the nade, but when he realized, oh, he's a little bit out of melee range, switches over to the AR, finishes off the job. Team Diamond there with a chicken dinner. Really impressive indeed, considering that coming into this, they already had 1 win to their name. Now being able to pick up 2 in, well, not in a row, but in 3 games, that bodes well for them. And you got to think they're going to be a favorite going forward to the next round, which, keep up this performance, they are pretty much locked in.
Absolutely. We're going to see what they have prepared for us on Miramar. But before we hop into the Miramar, let's just hop into the studio and see what Ladies prepared for us.
Thank you, Samson and Chunks. That was game number 3 for today. That was the last Aaron Guild game. And I should tell you guys, you should keep watching because we have 2 more games coming. We have many more giveaways coming. Keep watching and maybe you will catch a little code inside of the game. So inside of the matches only, can you catch some codes for neat PUBG skins or maybe some vouchers? What else?
We can actually, of course, watch the stream closely so you can find that code. But when you see us too, we actually have a Samsung Odyssey question for you two guys. For you two guys, not for you two. We're not getting any guys.
YouTube?
YouTube.
Are we making a band?
YouTube. Now I wanted to say YouTube and you two guys at the same time, but never mind. Anyways, we're live on Good Game Global channels, which are on Twitch, YouTube, and Trovo.
Yeah, but there's also little snippets of the best moments from the matches on the social media, more accurately Instagram, which is also at Good Game Global.
And before we wait for the leaderboards to pop out, what do you think about the tournament so far?
Oh, I think it's been a great journey. It's been a great journey. Definitely we had worse matches, we had better matches. I believe like Group C was probably the most Pepega of all so far.
Agreed, completely.
No offense.
10 out of 10.
Very funny moments. Group A was a complete stomp by Snip Team. Group B was nice. I enjoyed those games, those matches. And Relegations seems so far very interesting if you ask me, because there is just a different sort of, how do I say, team synergy. That there's just like a different matchup here than we thought would be. For example, we saw yet again Team Diamond getting a chicken dinner. That's their second chicken dinner today. And we saw just like very, very different situation than what, well, I would have anticipated or we would have anticipated.
Yes, and we have Diamond with 2 wins, but we're gonna continue with Miramar. So you know what happens when the map switches. I always say this. I remember the Stuckers. The last 2, I don't know if it was Miramar, the last 2 maps, but it was the switch and they got 2 wins in a row. So I don't know if Team Diamond is gonna stomp it or not, but I believe it is time to see the leaderboards right now.
Let's see it.
Let's see it.
The leaderboard though is, let's see. Is it strange looking? Is it good looking?
It looks pretty amazing. It looks like Team Diamond is stomping a lot with 43 points. They have 23 kills, but we do have Lost following with 21 kill and 33 points. Koyers, I believe, still at the 3rd spot. Exile still at the fourth one. So I don't think there's a lot of changes here.
Though you see how Team Gravity suddenly jumped up to spot number 5 because one of their players stayed till the very top 4 situation in the game, which obviously gives some points. There were some kills, so we also saw 3.5 men. Yeah, we're not seeing such a performance from these other teams, but hey, it's only game number 3, day number 1. So.
But you mentioned it last time. Last Chance is not on the 16th spot.
Wow, amazing.
So,
that's progress.
Yes, they have 6 kills now. They have 8 points. You never know. Maybe there's like 3 chicken dinners incoming. Should we see the next one?
Yeah, let's go for kills. Let's see how we are on there. What has changed? What has not changed? Dembury here with 10 kills. Nothing new. Mistake here with another 2 kills. That's 10. And now we see I'm Chili and Semi-Toxic from Core Esports joining the top 5 here in kills. And Kreslow, just as I mentioned, I believe then Kreslow was the last alive from his team, from Team Gravity. Managed to get some kills, managed to get some points, stayed up there till top 4 situation. So props to him. Let's see how we're doing on damage.
Yep. So Team Gravity woke up, but we see, oh, this is really, really nice. We have from Team Exile, we have the first spot with 1,677 damage. Following, we do have 2 lost players on the 2nd and the 4th place. We have a Diamond Zembury, of course, on the 3rd one.
Oh, I have to say,
leader.
Zembury had some nice nades yet again.
Yep. And of course, we have Semi-Toxic on the last spot. Are we ready for Miramar?
I think we are. I think we are. Well, I think we're going to have a short little break and we'll be back with match number 1, Miramar, or should I say match number 4, but Miramar for first time today. So taking over Sanson and Chunks.
Invincible.
Well, that's a wrangle done for the evening, but it's time to switch over to the desert plains of Miramar for 2 more really impressive performance, I think it's fair to say, from Team Diamond right there. 2nd chicken dinner in a row. That puts them on 43 points in 3 games.
Absolutely. A great start of the day for them. Obviously, we still have 7 matches to go, so there's a lot to be changed in the process. However, what we mentioned earlier, it's so much better when you're starting your first day with good games. They had they had amazing 2 games. Second game, not so much. They were wiped. They were one of the teams that were wiped at the beginning of the match, so definitely they could have done that one better. However, I mean, if that's the only thing they can be not satisfied about, let it be. I mean, they're sitting on the first position, 43 points. Second team lost behind them, 10 points behind. However, Lost is having a really good night as well. They're being constant, along with Koyer Esports and Exile Esports, who are kind of like just behind, sitting on 20 something points. We're looking at a very interesting first day of the relegation phase.
Yeah, I will say though, the bottom end teams really need to step it up. Teams like We Are Not Toxic, who had a really strong showing over in groups, currently sat with only 6 total points after 3 games. You need a hell of a lot more than that. Thankfully, we still have a whole set of games tomorrow to come, but make it count in these first 2 Miramar of the evening. Speaking of which, let's get into them right now, and I can't wait to be pleasantly surprised by Kovo's cinematics.
I mean, we're definitely hopping into the Miramar, so we're definitely going to have bright blue sky. We know that, but what is going to be our starting zone? Oh my God, we're seeing a little bit of the seaside. Oh, Shanks, look at this, amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful views from Kovo, the one and only, always brightening up my day. Some nice PUBG cinematics, but we can't get too distracted because, look, it's underway. It's coming down to the wire here in terms of the teams that haven't been able to pick up too many points just yet. You got to start stacking them up if you haven't already. It's not a case of, oh, we'll wait till tomorrow. No, we've seen just how dangerous that can be over in the group stages.
Definitely. And I mean, it's worth mentioning what we said a couple of times already during this tournament. Some of these teams are very young. I'm not talking only about the age of the players, I'm talking about the synergy of the teams, because some of these teams, they just started playing recently. And it always, no matter how good individually a player you are, no matter how good your skills are, if you are not having yet good synergy with your team, it can cost you a lot, especially in the lobbies like this.
Yeah, absolutely, and you do kind of wonder to what extent is the honeymoon effect gonna have a phase? Gonna have an effect, I should say? How much is that honeymoon phase gonna last? Is it gonna make a big impact? Are these teams feeling good? Because obviously a lot of fresh new rosters out in here, or are there gonna be problems with miscommunication, as you said, that chemistry just not quite being there? I hope that's not gonna be an issue, but it's always a problem potentially, especially for those teams who are maybe mixed regions, all communicating in a second language. That can make things really tricky for a lot of squads. So I do wonder how those squads are going to be able to navigate things.
Yeah, absolutely. What you said is a thing for a lot of the professional teams as well, which are playing on the PGC as well. As I'm aware, there's only couple of teams that are talking comms not on their native language, so it's always a very tough situation when it comes to the point where it's a huge clutch situation, trying to get those phrases, trying to get those terms. I mean, first get them on your language, translate them in your brain, and try to call comms for your players. It's definitely a hurdle, that an obstacle that you need to jump over if you plan on playing competitive PUBG on this level and above.
Yeah, it's a rough one. I mean, look, I did like 6 months of French and failed, so I'm not the kind of person to be giving
Wait, you
feedback
know
on that,
French,
so-
Shanks?
I know no French. That's why I failed.
Okay, but I mean, at least some phrase for us. Come on, for me.
Bonjour, parlez-vous bibliothèque? I think that means, I don't know.
Something with the biblioteca is the wait. Parla.
It's
Wait.
almost how
You
you say, like, do you speak English?
Okay.
Maybe
All right.
I'm not very good.
I
Anyway,
mean,
let's hope that the communication for the teams is a little bit better.
are better than
Yeah.
our French. Yeah, definitely.
Let's just hope that they're not giving call outs and they're just like, what, library? Huh?
That's right. The circle has been really nice towards Team Diamond. As we were discussing French a little bit, I was looking at the mini-map. Team Diamond sitting in the very middle of the circle. I feel like a lot of these teams were hoping for the circle to go a little bit more towards east. However, the circle went very, very central. So So we're looking at a nice potential start of the match for Team Diamond, Team LC, which is looting Pecado, as well. Team Hit sitting looting middle of San Martin as well. They do have a couple of teams around them. Fade sitting on the north side of the circle. However, I mean, we're zoomed out, so for now it seems like everything is really close to teams are really close to each other. However, when we zoom in a little bit, we see there are at least a couple of 100 meters away. So very slow start. I thought maybe at the beginning of the match we're going to have like some kind of a hodro between Team Want and Team TRP. We mentioned Team Want earlier in the day as well. We want them to step up a little bit. They're sitting on the last position, 6 points. I thought there would be some early fight, but they managed to find some compounds for themselves without fighting a Team TRP in the process. However, they both need to rotate all the way from the south side of the circle, so they will potentially meet each other. Well, that's in case if Scaldic does not hit every single tree on the rotation.
Yeah, not ideal to be hitting trees, but you know what? As long as you can make that rotation in, you can get in there. Who cares how you get there? It's about being there in general. It's not about the journey. As long as you keep 4 players up, you don't lose them on rotation, you're feeling good about yourself. You know, I know that if I don't flip a vehicle, I'm pretty happy about myself. So I can only imagine what these squads are feeling, you know, being able to do it every game. It's almost like you could say they play this game a lot.
Yeah, especially in the lobby like this, right? But I mean, it's that curse, right? You could be driving like Grand Theft Auto, crazily driving, Colin crazily. You're getting all those angles. You're just driving 120 per hour, and then you hit that one tree, and magically, out of like there's not a single player anywhere in the map in the 500 meters proximity, but there was someone proning right next to that tree, and he knocks you. I'm definitely not talking from my experience. What do you mean?
Rats will always find a way. I refuse to play ranked anymore because of it. Let's just put it like that. But look, in a situation like this, you can't really blame it on Rats. You should be keeping your wits about you. And it seems like Golden Gunner's doing exactly that. They hear the movement and the vehicles sneaking up onto that hill nearby them. So they are prepared as Edams with the Winchester. I really want to see it used, Sanson.
Yeah, I mean, Winchester, there is something about that gun. I mean, it's an amazing gun when it comes to, let's just be honest, trolling a little bit. I mean, if you land that headshot, fine, right? You're going to get the knock on the helmet level 1. But now, on the helmet level 2, you're going to leave a player on 1 HP. So it's kind of, I mean, a long shot to play it. However, of course, when you get the knock with it, it does feel damn good. I gotta admit that. It's the gun that makes you feel good when you get that knock. But there are definitely better options to play on Miramar than a Winchester itself. Incentive sitting on a very nice position for themselves. They're scoping around, trying to see if someone is on in the compound or not. They probably spotted some of the players from GG. GG getting into the fights relatively early. I mean, 7 points for them, sitting on the 15th position. The day has been tough for them so far.
Yeah, but hopefully they'll be able to switch things up. Maybe they are one of those teams that, you know, we saw last week as some teams maybe strive to perform a bit better on Miramar. I think that's definitely true for a lot of squads. Surely it isn't ideal, though. You don't want to be basing your team's performance off of just one map. You want to have both maps down to a T, but you'll always have those games, those days where some teams just tend to thrive on one map more than another. So hopefully these teams, they will be able to show up in our final 2 of the evening, and obviously going into tomorrow, round things out with a bit more of a balanced score.
Definitely. Team Diamond here with 2 players. They're sharing the power grid with Team Fade. Obviously, they're on the opposite side. Team Fade holding the brick building. Team Diamond did hear rotation coming in. They're aware of one team being close to them. They decided to play but it's not too greedy of a split. It's only a couple of 100 meters away from each other, still in the middle of the zone. But I mean, Team Diamond has been really lucky with the first circle, the first Miramar of the night, and they want to keep on sitting in the best possible positions for themselves. So it's not wonder that they decided to split. Team TRP rotated towards the zone. However, one of their teammates is just below the ridge, below the church, and I don't even know, does he have a vehicle to rotate away from there? Because Team RNG probably knows about him. I did not spot how did he manage to find himself there, but I mean, not a great position to be at.
No, Torpok now just need to try and lay low, hope for the best, that they're not going to give anything away right now. RNG obviously up at that high ground. I will say, though, if I was the VK, I would just be chilling there. I would not be moving. I would not be making any noise. Just lay prone, hope for the best, and hope you don't get spotted.
Yeah, definitely. There's not much to do, obviously, because you're such a lower ground comparing to everyone else. You can just chill, or maybe I feel like he decided to run away on foot, so that's also an option that is not too bad. We're seeing a couple of shots being shot towards Team Want, which is in the rotation. Team Gravity trying to find Dodik in the rotation. I mean, he's rotating in the buggy, so potentially his tires can get popped. They just did. He rotated around himself. He did 360, but managed to get behind the ridge. Kreslo here trying to find other Want members in the rotation. It's kind of far, so maybe a couple of shots he's going to be able to make, but I'm not sure if anything is going to land, as it is a couple of 100 meters away. So we're not toxic in the rotation right now, trying to find their spot under the stars. I'd love to see them do a good match. I mean, obviously, I always kind of try to vouch for, cheer for teams that are somehow lower on the leaderboard. Just, especially it's the first day. Like, if they manage to get a couple of good matches, they have good hopes to get into the day 2. If you have like all 5 really bad matches in the day 1, it's kind of like very demoralizing going into the day 2, especially when you know that only 2 teams are going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really rough one, isn't it? It's a brutal format, but it really tests the fortitude of so many of these squads right now, being able to consistently come out on top, or even just battle when, you're backed into a corner and the odds are stacked against you. It's something that these squads that in the previous round have done super well, but maybe now they're starting to struggle a bit more with. It definitely seems like, though, Exile, they're not struggling. They're confident, and they're going to try and get an opening knock. They do exactly that. A second player from INC also going to be falling this time to Trog, though. Trash goes down. Cuts is still up, and I believe now only one player left up from INC.
Yeah, INC was having a really tough rotation for themselves. They got really close to Team Exile, and obviously also behind their back there was Team LC rotating, which is also getting in a lot of trouble right now, as RNG is managing to find a couple of knocks for themselves. Shloopy here, which is traditionally last man standing for his team, is going to try to at least get closer to his teammates and maybe pick someone up. It's a relatively decent position to be at. However, if someone on top of you peeks that out, or I mean, in this very situation, if they start shooting at you from multiple angles, you are not going to have a good time.
No, especially when this is so open, and it looks like LC right now not going to have a good time if that nade lands in the way they hoped. Oh, it's so close there for Vixen, but not going to be able to find the kill just yet. Will be able to get over to some form of safety as Shocky has moved back. Vixen sees the dead body, not able to convert it into a kill, obviously already being dead. Nice spray comes out there from Vixen to be able to finish off the job, but in the end, it's Rotis that gets that final blow. Down they go, and Exile feeling good about themselves. The 2-2 split really paying dividends for them.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they're going to stay in the 2-2 split for quite some time yet. We're looking at the team we expect a lot from, obviously, and we've seen in the previous lobbies how well they can play, and they're sitting on the 4th position right now. They got a couple of points for themselves. It seems like Miramar is suiting them really well. While I'm talking about that, I can't happen to notice what is going on around Hacienda. We are having a sandwich. Team 404 in the middle of the sandwich. Team Hit on the side of them. Obviously, they don't have to push out because they have that south compound, but Team Fade decided to push really aggressively into very Hacienda itself, and it's just a matter of time before they're going to start fighting Team 404.
Yep, it's going to be a rough one now as Fade just going to be clearing out every possible angle, knows that Fade are not alone right now, so at least he's got good awareness as to exactly what is going on, but the question now becomes, is it going to be enough to capitalize on? Hulk tries to open up, but unfortunately not going to be enough to confirm himself that kill as the phase gets ready to shift. Hacienda no longer going to be inside, so this is going to become a bit of one of those pressure cooker situations where every squad is going to be forced to just hunker down, knowing that the fight is coming sooner rather than later. But right now, most squads appearing relatively settled with how things are unfolding. Fade getting ready to open themselves up a knock if they're able to find that line of sight.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good position for any of these teams around Hacienda. Whichever team wins between 404 and Fade, they're going to have to find their way towards the safe, and it's going to be very hard considering we have Team Martin Gaming and Team Hit holding their rotations in. But in the meantime, let's check what Golden Gunners have for us. Oh, Dart, that was really close. Okay, I thought for a second he's going to miss that, but he gets punished for missing that spray for a while. FedEx managed to find him. Team RNG with 2 men standing are going to try to help Danny. In the meantime, they have smoke down, so it's looking good for this res as FedEx is gonna try to get one more guy standing from a Team GG, which just as I'm talking about it, set in the car and as well, again, rotated a little bit more towards the safe. They just drop on the fights. They just don't want to fight. They sit in a car and just bail.
I mean, I can't blame them. You know, you don't want to be taking a fight when another team maybe has an advantage. If you're a team that feels more confident going for those actual kills or playing aggressively, then sure, go for it, get aggressive. But if you think, hey, look, we don't need to take this fight, we're maybe going to come out the losers from it, let's just get involved instead, try and take as little fights as possible. When the shift comes, we'll hop in a car, back out of this one, and you know what, credit to them for that discipline. Whether it'll work out, well, that's a different story altogether. We'll find out soon enough. As Phase 3 closes through, only really Fade that don't have any players inside zone, and actually Renegades down to the south, also with none in just yet.
Fearless got knocked in the process. GG is only down to 1 player. Adams in at the little shack. I mean, it's in the middle of the zone, so he can buy some time for his team, but he's only down to 1 man. We have 14 teams alive, 52 players up and running. I wanted to mention that we didn't see Hacienda fight at the end of the day. 404 decided to rotate on the north west side of the circle. Oof, this was an amazing shot by Subnoise, by the way. And the Fade decided to rotate all the way on the eastern side of the circle. And we're looking at a potential fight between Fade and Koyer Esports as they got really, really close to each other. But let's first check what Renegades are doing.
Yeah, Renegade's going to try and move in from the south as Hunted has been spotted. He will catch a little bit of fire, but I don't think it's too much to be concerned about, especially with Squinty playing this off angle. He could do some serious damage here if he's able to just hold that trigger discipline for long enough, but we will wait and see whether that ends up being the case, as now Danny knows nades are coming up over the top, but can't find that line of sight. All he can really do right now is feed info to his team. Sammy does end up falling. Danny is still down below, holding fast here for RNG. As the headshot lands onto Dafik, now Trefik gonna try and return himself that frag grenade, do a little bit of damage of his own, but so far, doesn't look like it's really been able to connect, just a little bit wide this time.
Yeah, this is a really clumsy position to be at from Renegades. I mean, you're playing this lower ground and it's very steep, so your character keeps on falling down constantly without you wanting it. So we can see Danny sliding down. I mean, he tried with those volleys, but obviously he didn't manage to get anything done yet. He's gonna have to get some help from his teammates, obviously, because Squinzy here already on top of the hill. However, it's relatively far. It's just the right distance to not know whether you want to use the DMR, do you want to use your AR and spray with a 3x or something. Traffic is smoked and he is going to try to make his way towards the safe. Obviously, these two teams they have their options to enter into the zone, so potentially they don't have to fight. However, I mean, we're talking about lobbies where you're going to have at least 100 points by the end of the second day if you want to qualify for the finals. So all of these points are going to matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't be more true. Now the question becomes, are they going to be able to start stacking up those points? Is this game just going to be too tricky for some of these squads? You really hope that's not the case, but it's definitely a potential reality here for some of them, as now Diamond start to push up over the top. You can see AR2N just waiting for that player to overpeak a little bit, and he's going to be more than happy to punish. Instead, though, Zeron is the one to find the kill, and down go 404. Seemingly more than one error that game as things started to fall apart when that zone shifted away, but the Southeast equally spicy as Fade tried to open things up onto We Are Not Toxic.
Fade Gaming here in a lot of trouble right now as Want is getting closer and closer. Pixelic, he hears footsteps just above him. He's surrounded from all sides, and I mean, it's gonna be really hard to get out of there. Dorik under, he's getting some damage. I think it was from a Demoli. He's gonna try to get the heal off. Danko here try to spray Pixelic, but I mean, it's Pixelic we are talking about. He gets 2 knocks for his team. He's trying to find the last one. Almost connected. Oof, this was really, really, really close. However, we're losing Fade Gaming on 13th position. Dorik down on literally 1 HP, and it's just a matter of time if this... Oh, it's not the Kobe. I thought it was a frag grenade. However, it was only stuns towards Dorik. But while I'm saying this, Daffy managed to find him. Toxic also eliminated on the 12th position. This team got third-partied so well by the team lost. But I mean, it's team lost, so we know how they play. And we know we could have expected that from them.
Yeah, really unfortunate there to be going down like that. But as you said, team lost just such a strong squad. It's not really surprising they come out on top there. It is a little bit surprising, though, that we are going to be getting a graveyard finish. Not something we see super often. Right now, teams like Exile have to be the favorites with hard cover inside. But teams like Gravity as well also have themselves a really nice ridge to work out of. So it's about just hunkering down now, trying to hold out any teams that come your way. Really just waiting, hoping that you get pushed if you're in a strong position like Exile, like Gravity are. And it seems like Exile getting their dreams come true. Out comes the nade, and Rafa beautifully done to open up. Idacron there for the second, as now TRP with only 1 player left.
Yeah, Team Exile decided to push out of the compound. That was really a really good play, especially considering there was no one who could potentially third-party that from far away, as all the other teams were in the fights of their own. Torpok here trying to, with his last man, trying to get some knocks down. That was really nice. 1 knock for Flink. But he's gonna have to try to get that rest off as the Molotov is flying in his direction. He managed to confirm, however, it was refragged, so we're losing Torpok on 11th position as well. We're seeing Torpok having some interesting fights and games, but they just are not able to capitalize on those plays tonight.
It's one of those things that we've talked about so much. It's one thing being able to clean up a fight well, but being able to clean up 2, 3, 4, that's what separates the best teams, being able to chain them together. Lost are doing a really good job of that, especially as they come in for the third party right now. Vixen caught out in the open as Exile going to be taking 2 casualties. Frag grenades come up as Koyik also going to be there with a nade. Is it going to connect? Not looking like it as Idacron moves back a bit more. Phase 5 closing through, and Lost, well, they've got a nice little ridge to work with, at least for now. But you got to think, as soon as Exile get themselves the revives up, this is all over for Lost.
Yeah, Lost is in a really bad position, especially considering right now Team Gravity also looked their way and is trying to third-party that. Xeron found a Mayday very nicely. Martin Gaming eliminated on the 10th position. The circle is looking amazingly well for Team Diamond, unless there are some teams that are going to do a huge flank behind their back towards the west side of the circle, which is basically not a playable area. Apart from this little one ridge across the road, we are looking at a really good game from the Team Diamond. They do not have to expose themselves. They have lower ground. So there are a lot of teams. There's 24 people alive. However, they're basically the only team that is sitting in the circle right now, if we exclude Adams, who is just proning in the shack for some time right now. We're looking at the team Exile that needs to get towards the circle. They're gonna have higher ground as well. If they do not find some good reach for themselves, they're gonna get very exposed towards other teams. So it opens a lot of space to maneuver for quite a few teams here. As we are seeing the rotation from Koyer, they decided to go all the way to the south side of the circle. They're going directly towards Team Lost.
Oh, this is such a dangerous position to put yourself in, but I guess that Team Lost can maybe get third party by Exile here. It doesn't look to be the case as they hop in a vehicle of their own and start trying their best to move out to safety. Phase 6 closing through. As Team Hit do end up losing one. Daffit eventually falls to the spray right there and ends up going down because of it. Unfortunate as Team Hit also go down. Lost are going to be eliminated out in a 8th position, sorry. As Golden Gunners now also falling. It's a brutal one all around for so many squads. Idacron also out of it. 6 squads now remain.
Yeah, definitely. You need to opt. In this case, this circle is so brutal. So many teams are going to have to play very edge of the zone. I'm seeing Team Diamond, who got in a little bit of a trouble. Xenon went for a very greedy split. He went across the road. He kind of like wanted to close all the possible rotations for the other teams, but he managed to get knocked in the process. And now Team Diamond left only Jamboree in the middle of the circle. And we're seeing 3.5 men getting closer to him as we're watching Team Renegades fighting Rafa. They're trying to get that last shot. I mean, Rafa is on decent amount of HP, but if that nade lands perfectly, it's gonna be the end for him.
Yeah, the nades do land close, but not quite perfectly, unfortunately for the attacking team this time around. As Teshi tries to follow up with a nade of his own. That one's close. Squinty nearly ends up falling, but drops down prone just in time. Realizes there's no getting away from that one. Kreslow opens up from above here with that SLR, but unfortunately not going to be able to connect. As Sabanonge also eliminated. Diamond rack up yet another kill, bringing that total up even further. So impressive to see from them.
Yeah, Team Diamond is playing amazingly. I was a little bit scared there when Xeron got knocked, but I've seen he's back up and running. 2 Diamond players already in the zone. They need to worry about 3.5 men who are trying to rotate from the north side. So I'm pretty sure they're going to try and hold them from getting in. Renegades as well, shooting towards Xeron, but Xeron is a little bit wiser this time. He's not overpeaking that, as he knows it would be his second knock, but right now he's trying to make that cross, and it was unfortunately not enough time for him to get into the zone. Team Diamond, I feel like they could have played this a little bit better. There was a greedy split from Xeron, but now his team has to continue with only 2 men, and it's a little bit tough. 3.5 men are trying to find them, but a really nice knock there from Bricks. Jamboree is going to try to follow up on that. They have 9 kills already there. I'm pretty sure they're gonna confirm this kill as I speak. Duffy here on the very edge on the left side. Jamboree might be in a trouble, but Bricks needs to confirm that kill for his team. And it's happening. Jamboree and Bricks are continuing, annihilated the team 3.5 men on 6th position as we're looking at a total... Well, what is going on, Shanks, in the middle of the circle? There are so many knocks.
It's such a mess, isn't it? But can you be surprised with just how open this terrain is? You know, there's a lot of dips and divots, but if you just peek 1 inch to the side, you're open to, what, 3 different squads? So it's a rough one right here. Hood, he knows he's kind of in trouble, so he will try and salvage anything he can with that bolt, but unfortunately can't land the shots. Can Teji maybe have a different effect? But no, Exile still remaining with 10 kills, not looking likely to get themselves much further into the placement. That is there to finish off the job. Teji and Exile both falling, as now 4 teams remain. 1 solo, 2 duos, and Gravity standing as a full squad. They've got to be the favorites right now.
Absolutely. And I mean, one guy from Gravity, one player, got knocked in the process by Jamboree. So it's looking like they're getting in a little bit of a trouble. But I mean, they have 4 men. They still have 3 men. They're looking at the fight versus Renegade. were having 2 men, but right now Team Diamond is doing so much difference. They knocked yet another player from Gravity, and as you said, they're looking like favorites. Right now it doesn't feel so because they're getting shot from multiple sides. Renegades from the south and Team Diamond from the north side. They're pinched, they're in a sandwich, and I don't know how they're going to get out of here.
It's going to be a rough one, I think it's fair to say, as Phase 8 continues to close through. It is the final shift of the game, so these teams need to get as close to the center as possible. And it's fair to say that Koya Esports, even with only 1 up, are dead center in that shack. So maybe going to be one of the last to make a move, and maybe because of that, not going to be drawing too much attention. Fat still just waiting there for Bricks to peek over, but he realizes now that he is in a 1 versus 2, so needs to be very careful. Tessie does get caught out by Hood, but not able to find the second. Kreslo there for the trade. Koya Esports out in 4th. As now Renegades start to try and get involved. You can see Fat still watching, but no opening onto Diamond.
Yeah, I'm thinking Hood could have stayed a little bit more passive in that check since he was in the middle of the zone, but he decided to peek and got double headshot, so they got eliminated on the 4th position. Team Gravity back on a feet with 3 men. They have, I mean, everything is changing towards them right now because Team Diamond seems to be a little bit sandwiched between Fedix, who is holding this left ridge. I mean, I feel like this is the only way for Team Diamond to go. They're going to have to push this ridge eventually. I feel like if they don't want to get too exposed towards Team Gravity playing relatively passive, I gotta admit, considering it's 3 of them, and maybe they did not count. So maybe they're not sure they're playing versus a 2 more team. Maybe they think it's a 3v3. However, I mean, they're having relatively decent positions. And I'm wondering, since they were the ones who killed Hood in the shack, why some of the players from Gravity, why at least one guy didn't push towards the shack?
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but I think that maybe Gravity are just waiting for these other fights to fizzle out, maybe realizing, okay, there's still a solo alive somewhere, let's let the other squad deal with him. But Fat has spotted out one Gravity now, as it appears that they are going to have to make themselves a push. Not really surprising with Phase 9 starting to make a move. Gravity now getting a bit more aggressive. Kreslo is spotted out, so does need to be a little bit cautious with that one as he tries to go for the return fire. He's still holding onto that shack, knowing that Diamond now have to make themselves a move. Averick still watching out himself as Phase 9 creeps through. Out come the smoke wall from Diamond, but they're not even using it. They're sweeping instead. Let's see if that's going to be able to do any damage onto them. This time, not. Bricks is there with the spray, and our Renegades are out in 3rd position.
Definitely great play from Briggs there. There was the logical thing to do to peek that right ridge, and he managed to grab 1 more kill for their team. They're playing constantly. I mean, even if they don't get chicken dinner here, they're playing so well tonight. They're playing so constant that, I mean, it just seems like they are the best team tonight we're looking at. 14 kills for them. Impressive 14 kills in the 4th match of the night. So it's just, even if they don't manage to get the chicken dinner, which seems like everything is shifting towards their direction because they're playing so much more aggressive than the Team Gravity, who had 3 men standing. They're going to get 1 more knockdown. We're looking at the 2v1 for Team Diamond and Shanks. What are they doing right now?
It's a good question. It seems like they're just afraid to push. They realize the zone's going to finish off the job, but they do still salvage themselves that kill at the end. It's Team Diamond with 17 kills and a chicken dinner. Really impressive. Yet another one to go with it. Surely they qualify off of this.
Unbelievable play for them. 3 chicken dinners in 4 matches for them. Impressive play. They were playing amazingly on Erangel. Even better now on Miramar. I can just say congratulations to them. Team Gravity obviously could have done way more here. They had 3 men standing, but it is what it is for them. They ended up on the 2nd position. More points for Team Diamond, as they're definitely going to get a bit more points to get that and to hold that 1st position. We're going to go back to the studio to see what ladies prepared for us before we jump into the last match of the Miramar for tonight.
What a game number 4. Amazing. Before we start and continue with our game number 5 and some more Miramar and some more action, I think it's time for something. I can sense it in the air. Amy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think I do know what we're talking
Wait, I know. Wait.
You know?
Yeah. It is time.
What we
Four.
promised.
Samsung Odyssey giveaway number 2.
Número 2, you guys. How does it work, Amy?
So the way it works, I guess all of you viewers are veterans, already know how it works. All you need to do is answer the question correctly. Tetka will let you know what the question is. Answer it correctly and as fast as you can, because fastest finger first wins. You have to answer correctly and be the first one to answer correctly inside the chat, the live stream chat. And you might be the lucky winner of a €50 G2A voucher provided by Samsung Odyssey.
That's a nice prize. So we're going to say good luck, you guys, and congratulations. Even though I didn't read it yet. But I believe this time you won't be as quick. I kind of sense it. My spidey senses tell me this. So the question, yes, I have those. So the question is, you guys, how many people / influencers are a part of our crew? But I'm going to give you a little hint. You have it all in our official website, which is Samsung Odyssey Masters.com. So the first one to write it down will win amazing €50. And our lovely moderators will announce the winner in the chat.
Well, congratulations and good luck.
Yes,
Well,
congratulations.
good luck and congratulations.
Yeah, at the same time.
Did you see the ending of the last game? Oh my goodness. What a match was that? Did you see Team Diamond
I don't know,
coming
Team
out on
Diamond-
top again?
Yes, and Gravity waking up and being the second team.
Gravity waking up. Ooh, that was quite a wake-up call. That was,
But Diamond,
yeah.
so they have
Team Diamond.
3 chicken
Three
dinners
chicken dinners.
and 17 kills last round. I think they're on the top
Crazy.
of the leaderboards. I don't think we even need leaderboards.
Yeah, I think they're probably like they have like a very huge divide between them. But let's see how much
Yes.
of a divide
Check
it
it
really is. How many points divide first and second place? Oh, a lot of points.
Okay, no one was expecting this. Like, we thought, okay, Team Diamond is going to be number 1, but 70 points? Really?
Well, like,
Lost is on
40 kills.
Wow.
3 chicken dinners, that's 3 times 10.
Wow, you guys. It is like we're seeing the same I'm so sorry, teams on top. We have Diamond, we have Lost, Exile, and Koyer are kind of consistent.
Yeah.
Right? But Team Diamond completely dominating day 1. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in game number 5.
Yeah, let's see the kills. Let's see who had some nice kills and how it's looking overall so far. Zembury still first place, but look at that.
Oh my
Brix
God.
and Saren have joined him. So last match, obviously they had a ton of kills. Mistake is still here on number 2 spot with 12 kills. But Brix, we saw Zembury and Brix actually getting the chicken dinner in the end. Those nice knocks, the nades from Zembury. Really nice play. And of course, Saren got those kills throughout the match. And Chili still there, hanging on to that number 5 spot with 9 kills.
Yep. And let's see the damage split. This is complete domination
Yeah.
on every
Is
leaderboard.
this surprising?
Yeah, no, not surprising at all. We have first, third, and fourth place for Team Diamond. Then we have Team Exile and Team Lost in the 5th place. This is amazing. I cannot wait to see Miramar map number 5, game number 5, to see if Diamond is gonna take another win.
That's right. So we're going to a short commercial break, a little break, and then back to Sansa and Chunks for game number 5, the final match of today. See you guys.
Well, one more match to go this evening. Of course, still 5 more tomorrow. It's going to be Miramar to wrap things up. And if Team Diamond keep up their performance, I see it as very unlikely that they don't make it to the next round.
Yeah, unbelievable performance by them. 70 points already in 4 matches. They're just staking those points in the pockets. And I mean, if they're having an amazing night, you can't blame them. Just keep on grinding, keep on going so they can have a little bit more relaxed day 2. We're having a last Miramar off tonight. And I mean, according to their performance, I feel like we can expect still a lot from them tonight.
Yeah, really impressive. Currently totaling 40 kills so far and 70 points. That's really impressive considering that they got 3 chicken dinners. That is all of their points right there. In the one game that they didn't win, they didn't even make it into the top 8 or pick up a single kill. So you can put it as kind of a write-off, but really impressive there. 14 diamonds so far. I'm a little bit disappointed though by Fade. They're a team that I thought would do really well, especially with Pixel playing, but currently sat in 11th place. That's not the performance I'd expect from them.
Yeah, they're not having a great night for themselves. We definitely expected more from them, but I mean, we already said that it's pretty tough lobby, and some of the teams that we knew that they are playing good, but with for example, Team Diamond, we know they have quality, but I didn't personally expect to see 3 chicken dinners for them tonight and impressive 40 kills in 4 matches. So it's kind of I feel like Fate might be a little bit surprised how tough this lobby is.
Yep, it's going to be a tough one. It's a tough final match coming up right now. It's Miramar. Let's get into it. Kovo, send us out with a bang. Ooh, that's the
Oh.
cliffs. I like it.
Oh, wow. This
Oh,
looks
so
really
smooth.
nice. Yeah,
This
I mean,
man.
and look at these palm trees down there. We got a little north side of the Miramar as well, as we can see palm trees and a little bit of the lakes as well. Amazing job by Kovo. Not only with the cinematics, we're joking a little bit at the beginning of every match. Kovo is an amazing observer. The fights that he's able to cover on his own are absolutely stunning.
I mean, all he has to do is push buttons, right?
Yeah, just push buttons and like click random stuff. Yeah, whenever we try to do that, or like you make some custom matches and you're like observing, you're trying to click on a player, but it goes on a completely different team. You're like, wait, I clicked here, I wanted here, but you're just like suddenly on the east side of the map. So I feel like well, for a lot of people, it's going to be like, well, it's just observing, but it takes a lot of skill and a lot of map knowledge, a lot of team knowledge to cover that amazingly, especially as only one man. So big props to our dear Kovo.
Yeah, he's killing it. Being able to be that accurate with a smooth cam, I could never do it. I will say, though, Pixel, accurate with a pistol at times, and it looks like he's got one. It looked for a second like 404 or potentially 3.5 men we're going to try and challenge, but he will be left uncontested for now. Pretty thankfully, as I mean, taking a look over the map, I'm not sure when there's much we can really talk about. There's a couple situations that we thought were going to be hot drops that aren't, but there it is. That's what we needed. Something to break the silence. A really nasty circle.
It's a horrible circle for literally 14 teams right now. So, but it is what it is. I mean, team lost again for some crazy reason. Again, deep in the circle, they're going to find some really nice position for themselves. Team Gravity as well. They have a very nice rotation from Montenuevo. They're probably going to rotate very early and try to find their spot under the stars. What I can say about this circle is I always mention that we have a couple of hills that you can choose, a couple of mountains actually, that you can choose to play. And if you get stuck on the wrong mountain, it can be really tough to rotate from there. But I mean, obviously, just these 2 teams have enough time to position themselves. Everybody else is literally going to have to play probably from the edge a little bit slower to try and see what options do they have, because we are seeing at all of these teams they have to rotate from basically more or less the same sides. It's either from the north or from the east. Everything else is just there's no team on the south side of the circle. So we're looking at a potential crazy last match.
Yeah, it could absolutely cause some major problems here. You got to hope that teams are able to get that rotate underway early, because we spoke about it so much tonight. There are situations where you do not want to be the last team in, and I would argue this is one of them. If you're able to take one of those hills just north of Valle del Mar, you're in a really good position. Still taking a gamble, bear in mind, as you mentioned, just because you get a hill doesn't mean it's the right one, doesn't mean that you're not going to have to rotate down an open hillside, but it puts you in a bit of a better position. I will say, though, they're in a bit bit of a tricky position right now as Mistake tries to push up and punish Mare's mistake. He switches to the mini but can't quite land the shots.
Yeah, he started. I mean, I'm not sure why he didn't start shooting earlier, as Mare was on top of this silos. But I feel like he didn't even spot him. It kind of like he made this little bit nervous move after a while when we were spectating him. So I feel he was like equally surprised there's someone here. So, but it is what it is. He's not gonna be able to get an early kill for their team. Team 404 not looking too well tonight. They're sitting on the 15th position right now, and they're trying to get some games going, but it just doesn't feel with 9 points only. It seems like they're just having not such a good matches. I mean, lobby is tough, definitely. Circles haven't been in their favor, but I mean, you can knowing a couple of these names in the team, we can expect a bit more. But right now, Ante finds amazing knock on Mare, and bye-bye Mare. 1 player less for Team 404. 3.5 men getting the first point for them. I mean, as they're sitting on the north side of the circle, and where are they? On the 6th position. Every kill for them counts.
Yeah, that's brutal there for Mare, as he does go down, as now 3.5 men want to keep stacking up those kills, but to do that, they're going to have to make a rotation. They need themselves a vehicle to make their way into the zone, as it seems like most other squads are rotating. 2 squads up at the north still refusing to make a move. Idacron, though, in a really good position to maybe catch one of these 404 era players, as he's already seen 1 rotate past, sees the second moving up. Will he go for the spray? Yes, he will, but he can't quite land it this time. A bit of damage onto Frizz, but no kill coming through.
Yeah, this is a very tough angle in PUBG when the vehicle is going full speed towards you. If you miss those first initial shots, when you need to do almost like a 180 flick and continue to spray, a lot of times players just cannot connect those shots, and we've seen it here. The player managed to get away with half HP. Freeze is gonna just chill on top of the hill, get some boosters and get some bandages off, and maybe even shoot some shots towards the player who was trying to catch his rotation. A lot of teams right now, they need to find their way towards the safe. We're talking about, of course, Team 404, Team Exile, who are trying to just kind of they're going the opposite way. It seems like they want to go for those kills towards from Team 404. Arn in a lot of trouble right now. Half HP for him, as Team Exile is trying to surround him from multiple sides.
Idacron still there to try and get away from this one. Moves down, and a smart move as well, as the frag grenades start to rain over the top. His teammate also trying to get some angles on towards this. Frizz is there. The rest of Exile now deciding to group up, take this as a team fight. If they can identify this solo, they're going to do a lot of damage. Rafa is there to punish. The nade comes over the top, but it looks like Frizz is going to try and land some shots of his own. The frag looking rather close, as now Idacron wants to make the push, but he's just being peppered apart. The seat swap attempt comes through, but he realizes just how open he is. Hulkamona's also moving through. AK in hand, lands the shots, but it's Taxis that's able to find a knock all the way at the other end of the map. Frizz takes down Idacron as Hulk and R2N both go down. Frizz is there to catch the trade, but he's the solo from 404 Error, and now it's his job to find all of those revives.
Oh my God! What so much action in this a couple of seconds that you managed to cover all of that. I'm just constantly surprised how many words you can pull out in such a little time. Freeze here obviously still has the higher ground. He's the last man standing for 404. He has Arn, who is knocked. It's still the first bleed. Team Exe is trying to rotate away, and I just don't see what are Freeze's options. He's going to have to leave, it seems. He's going to have to leave his teammate to bleed out, as there is not a lot of options for him to... Maybe if he gets maybe one knock on one of the teammates from the Exile, but it seems he's just going to call it off for now, as Exile is getting all 4 men back on the legs.
Yeah, Exile going to be looking pretty strong right now, as Rafa is there to try and find some shots, but he can't just yet. Michael will be going down, though, to Danny. I believe that's the second player that INC have lost now, so really not ideal for them. Phase 1 continuing to close through as it's all the way down to the southwest. All of these teams still need to move, and look at this. Now it's Torpok starting to get involved.
Yeah, Torpok heard whatever was going on here on the crossings, and they're gonna try and do some shots, but it's very far away, so Torpok is gonna go into the rotation as well as we speak. They're so far from the zone, and as I can see the mini-map, so many teams are already in the middle of the circle. We are having one interesting tactical decision. Team Martin Gaming decided to stay on the south side of the circle, on the south island. So interesting decision. If the circle goes their way, they're looking at an amazing game for themselves. Martin Gaming, which is sitting right now on the 12th position. We have been seeing Martin Gaming having great matches in the qualification phase, not so much tonight in the relegation phase. So maybe potentially good match for them, as we are going back to We Are Not Toxic, who are fighting Team GG, which is always finding themselves in very early fights.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? And sure, it's a positive when you come out on top, but when you're taking fights like this, it's just not ideal. So now Golden Gunners will be able to flush out one. It leaves Danku as bit of a solo right now, unable to get the revive onto his teammate, and Darth is there to finish off the job. Nicely done, as We Are Not Toxic go down in 16th position. Really impressive performance coming out there to keep that fight alive for as long as they did, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. Now comes the time, though, to actually start cleaning up as the zone shifts, and well, pretty much every squad has to make a move.
Yeah, so many rotations right now, and Team Martin Gaming is gonna have to rotate from the island, and they're just in the rotation as we speak. A lot of teams trying to find their way towards the safe. It's still phase 2, so these fights in Toxic can still be tolerated. However, I mean, 53 players alive. You're not the team that wants to lose this early. I mean, even if you get out of the fight with at least 2 or 3 players alive, there you still have a lot of way to go towards the safe. And casualties at this point are, in my opinion, not so much needed. Freeze, last man standing for 404, trying to scope his way towards the rotation. He sees some of the vehicles from the team in front that is holding the church side, Team Exile. They're probably holding the rotations. They know a couple of players need to find their way towards the safe, so they're taking it slow. And interesting to mention, when we're looking at the minimap, there is a lot of playable area on the southeastern side of the circle. Almost half of the circle is empty. There is enough space for a lot of teams if they choose to somehow rotate towards that side. However, most of the teams are sitting on the east side and northern eastern side.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, though, as you can see Fade down on the south, kind of banked on that southern shift, wanted to try and capitalize, but Semeno was in a really rough vehicle to actually take shots at. Obviously, having a roof on makes it a lot harder from this kind of angle, but Pixel is still out there trying to make a bit of noise. Nice shots landing onto Ali, as in the end, he will be able to finish off the job. Nicely done. Good kill coming around, but it may just end up getting stolen away by 3.5 men, which is absolutely what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Luke got caught in the middle of the road. It's always a risky push, standing on the middle of the road or trying to cross, as you always open up a space for third partying, which just happened right now. Blaze is here from Team Hit trying to find the frag grenade, and this hit really, really close to Duff, who's going to have to pull back a little bit, try to get that first aid off, as Klimeska here is trying to find that angle, and he's having a little bit of a lower ground here. He's trying to find Blazes here. He wants to push that aggressively because he knows he has an advantage. And here it comes. One amazing knock and one amazing confirm for Fade Gaming, as they're going to push back a little bit to try and regroup and get those heals off.
Yeah, Fade have to be feeling good about themselves after that one to be able to clean up those kills, but they can't neglect the fact that there is still a solo sneaking around somewhere, and they don't know where he is. Taxis is going to try and move up, but there's a bit of a plateau that he needs to cross before being able to get over to his teammate. So just needs to do it towards the enemies, I should say. So just needs to remain sneaky right now and really just hope that Fade don't actually make a push out in this building.
Definitely. I mean, there is a lot of playable area. They're still sitting almost in the middle of the circle. Most probably the circle is going to shift away from them. But even in the next zone, they are at least going to be on the edge of it. So we're potentially looking at the last player from Hit not making the move if he doesn't have to. Team Lost fighting Team TRP, who are going to try to find their way towards the south. Because, I mean, they are on the lower ground and they have to make the play. They can either choose to rotate with the vehicles all the way down the highway or push towards Team Lost, which is on top of that hill. Team Diamond not having a good split right now as the circle shifted away from them, so they're going to have to make the move. But before that, Diamond again finding some knocks and confirmed kills. It's an amazing night for them tonight. I gotta admit, I know these guys really well, played with them quite often, but to see the performance in this lobby, this good of a performance, I can just congratulate the boys as they're still continuing with the 4-man, going strong, having a relatively decent entrance to the zone. Feels like a still good game for them.
Just absolutely fragging out. There's no other way to put it. Now the question becomes, do they do it consistently as they have done so far this evening, or are things maybe going to slip apart tomorrow? You've got to be a little bit concerned, but I'm feeling confident on their behalf. Duff will be taken down as the nade lands close. Oh, it almost connects, but it's not going to be enough to find the kill just yet. Now, though, 404 error down to just a solo. We're going to be forced out of here, and Frizz is going to have to get safety.
It's getting really, really busy in Valle del Mar. Team TRP decided to rotate all the way towards a team, towards Team Fade in the very edge of Valle del Mar on the northern eastern side. There's still as well Team 3.5 men on the south side of Valle del Mar. Also, one player left from Team Hit. Just in between those three teams, it's going to be very interesting to see how are these teams going to rotate out of Valle del Mar when the time comes. We're watching Team Incentive trying to find their way towards the safe. Freeze as well, just a little bit outside the zone. He managed to find one player from Team INC, but Freeze is last man standing. He has a long way to go. There is Sonia waiting for him. There's also Hul from Koyer waiting for him as well, as we are seeing just in the edge of the minimap how Team Diamond got close as well and potentially want to grab even more kills from them for themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one here. Team Diamond obviously continuing to frag out. It's really impressive to watch, but we mentioned it so many times. It's about keeping that momentum up as now they start to flank around the back of Team Incentive. Sanya is the final player left up and may end up falling straight into the trap right here. If they're not careful, you can see the zone just sneaking its way through, ready to cause some problems as these players start to take some serious damage. It is phase 4. Frizz gonna need to get himself that heal off and quick.
Yeah, they need to get out of here as fast as possible. Sammy, Freeze, 1 versus 1. Whoever wins this fight, however, is not gonna make it, most likely, because there's gonna be some damage done. And as I'm saying that, Freeze is about to get killed by the zone as well. We lost 2 teams on 14th and 15th position. Team Diamond right now having control of the northern side of the circle. Team Exile on the very northern eastern side as well. I'm seeing Team RNG trying to crash Team Diamond or just rotating with the vehicles. And the more important thing, there's still so many teams left in Valle del Mar. It's a complete mayhem down there.
It's going to be so messy to actually make it out of this city right now. It's such an open hill to try and make a cross out of, but I'm sure these teams will find a way. I'm sure at least a couple of them will, I think it's fair to say. Probably not all of them. Martin Gaming, though, are going to do everything that they possibly can to deny this position as they look up over on the hillside. They have no idea just how close Fade are, and that could be to their detriment as Pixel and Klim both just sneaking up down below. Pixel almost exposed himself, but not quite yet until Clemson has opened up onto Zeit right there. Nice knock onto Martin Gaming. The Semedo in range of the nade. Not going to get caught with damage, but still the pressure is provided, and Pixel actually does connect with the nade in the end. Only 2 players now left from Martin.
Yeah, Pixelic did amazing job for Fade there. They managed to get out of Valdemar without fighting. They managed, I mean, that decision was amazing considering how many teams were left down there. And it's just now a matter of time to see if they're going to be able to frag. They're still with 2 men standing, so they managed to get Martin Gaming to push back a little bit and open some space for them to get into the zone. As 3.5 men now doesn't have many options but to rotate in directly into the building. Unfortunate for mistake. There was a little mistake in the rotation. However, you can't blame him when so many players are shooting at you. So 3.5 men in a very tough position. Mistake is going to have to continue on foot, and I'm just not seeing how he's going to survive through that, considering he has like a super open field in front of him. Meanwhile, Team Diamond is still continuing strong. They only have 2 kills, but they still have the whole squad going really, really strong. Team RNG just below them. And I mean, Sanya in their back trying to make a difference here. It's a little bit tough situation because Diamond has lower ground. However, I mean, seeing how they're performing tonight, maybe it's not going to be that much of a big deal for them.
Yeah, I mean, never say never, you know, even when teams are at a disadvantage, if there's one thing I've learned so far in the Samsung Odyssey Masters, it's that's when they surprise you. That's when they have their best performances. So the question is now, will they be able to secure themselves at least a good placement out of it, even a bit of a disadvantage like this? Now, Sanya peeks up over the top. Nice little headshot there onto Zembri, but can't convert it into a kill as Loss go down. Diamond now have to realize there's a player above, but it's easier said than done when nades like that start to land through. Zembri out of it. It's on to Zeron to try and push up over the top. Knows roughly where the player's going to be, but maybe Brix is able to provide a little bit of insight here from the off angle.
Yeah, Sanya here is making a lot of trouble for Team Diamond as well, which are right now pinched between 2 teams. Teams are RNG just on the side of on the south of them, and I mean they did know there's a lot of players around them, but I'm not sure they counted on Sanya being just behind their back, and Xeron went for the res there, which was very, very, very risky. Sanya down on a 9 HP, but managed to find Xeron. However, Incentive eliminated on the 10th position. Very nice help there by Team Gravity all the way from across the road. And I feel like Brix is stuck. I don't think he's going to be able to help his teammates as they are stuck all the way on the northern side of him. I don't think he can climb these mountains. Maybe if they just drop down to him. However, Brix is pinched by multiple teams. Team Gravity just in front of him, and Team RNG, which is somehow opening a little bit of space for them to maneuver and get into the safe. But it's a really, really tough one for Brix right now.
Yeah, he's backed into a corner. Team Diamond obviously don't have too much to worry about. It's not the end of the world if they can't clutch this one out, but getting every point possible is going to put them in such a good position going into tomorrow's. Brix now finally is forced to go for the peak. You can see the player holding the angle. He spots him out, takes a lot of damage in return, though, as Danny and Fat both go down. It leaves Squinzy as the final player left up, so realizes he has to land this spray to remain in it. Gets himself further into the placement, but Fade is surely going to look down towards this. There it is. Clemson's there with a couple shots, but can't quite confirm the kill.
Yeah, it's going to be a game over for a team RNG as well. I mean, Squinzy doesn't have a lot of options. Team Gravity holding him, as well as a Team Fade on top of the hill, who are still standing very strong as 2 men. And I have to mention Team Martin Gaming on the very side of the circle. They're still in. They have a little compound to work with. However, the best looking squad right now, even though they don't have a lot of kills, Team Last Chance sitting in the compound in the middle of the zone. So they are surrounded by multiple teams. Exile on the north side of them and GG on the south side of them. However, they're still playing inside. They're not risking it too much. They have 4 men standing, as all of the other teams are going to have to make a play.
Last Chance right now, though, so well posted in that compound. It is amazing. It's so hard to try and push, but it can be tricky if you somehow concede a knock to one of those players maybe down the ridge. You put yourselves in a really tricky position. So hoping for their sake that is not going to be the case, but it could absolutely be a possibility if they are not too careful. As now Exile play that high ground, get ready to make themselves a move in. It just becomes a bit of a waiting game for these other squads now, having to just edge their way through. Fade still keeping an eye out down on the southwest, knowing that Martin Gaiman are somewhere around, but nothing coming of it just yet. As Fade Pixel just waiting to take the shots, closes the gap, and is going to be able to get into zone right away rather than taking the fight onto the team at the top of the hill.
Yeah, you can definitely see which players stand out and who are playing on a very, very professional level. Sometimes holding that trigger and having that trigger control is as equally important as landing those shots. Obviously, Pixelic knew that even getting a knock there would not mean too much, as they need to still find their way towards the safe. So he rather opted for holding that trigger and got into the zone where he's going to be able to make potentially a better play. Exile looking strong, 5 kills for them right now. IDK with Groza here trying to find rest of the team. Gravity just below them. Gravity has pretty tough rotation. There's still one more RNG player just below Team Gravity. Let's not forget about him. And they have some ridges to work with, obviously. Lower their road, but they're going to have to go towards the safe sometime soon. And I mean, they have a really, really tough climb, and it feels like they're going to be rather easy kills for some of these teams if they decide to hold the ridges. Kresla knows there is one more player left from Team RNG, and they're trying to refrag. They're going strong. 3 of them trying to find Squeezy. They did manage to find him. In the meantime, they're at the edge of the zone right now. If they push immediately through this reach towards Fade, they have good chances to get into the zone deeper, but they have to move now. They have to move immediately, not give enough time to Team Exile to spread around those ridges and hold them.
It seems like Last Chance are already starting to spread, though, as the Molotov lands beautifully onto Fearless right there. Golden Gunners looking like they are going to be taken out. Schluppy's there to finish off the job onto Dart. We're into our final 4 teams right now as the zone has shifted over to the west. Last Chance still yet to make their way through. Trog is there taking shots to the north, but nothing quite landing, as Exile now really have free reign on how they want to run things, at least until Last Chance start making a close. As Teji up over the top, still watching every angle, ready for the push. Surely now they realize that Last Chance are going to be sneaking up behind sooner or later.
Yeah, IDK is holding Last Chance. He's holding the region. He's shooting definitely towards all 3 of those guys. So he's doing a lot of job for his team, taking care of their back, while Vixen and Rafa are trying to get one of the players from Gravity just behind that ridge. Tried to do nice rotation there, but Rafa managed to find tires from the bike, and it's a unpleasant situation right now for Iveric as he's trying to find his way towards the safe. He lands one headshot though towards Daisy, so bought himself a little bit of time. His teammates are in the middle of the zone already, but he's not getting any help for them. It's gonna be very tough for him right now to try to find his way towards the safe.
Yeah, not going to be an easy one. Vixen does open up, though, onto Averick, so that will lead things in the way of Exile. Rafa tries to land some shots of his own, but isn't able to find the kill out of it. Schluppy, though, takes down Idacron. Nicely done, as Exile now starting to finally prove that gods can bleed too. Last Chance over the top, flashbangs in hand, using that utility that Last Chance have been able to save all game, but to no avail as Trog goes down. Pixel eliminates Tess. Down goes another. That's 5, 10 kills now for Fade Gaming. Really impressive to see as we come down to the final few seconds. Last Chance are there. Trash finishes off Rafa before being traded out by Vixen. And at this point, you gotta think it's all but over. Exile running the zone. Can Schluppy change the tide of things? Goes to the hit fire, lands a headshot, actually finds the knock. So Exile now down to just a solo. And Fade still with 2 left standing down on the south.
Yeah, Exile down to only one man. He's obviously going to try to get those rests off, but I think Fade was really aware of what was going on the kill feed. They know there's a couple of unconfirmed knocks, and they're going to try to make their move towards top of the ridge. Now they've seen Daisy got knocked by the zone, and Exile Esports is eliminated on the third position. As what happened there? Trish managed to find Rafa, so we're just down to Gravity player to Kreslo versus two members of Fade. They just know they're versus one player. They have higher ground, and it's just a matter of time before they spot Kreslo. I mean, Kreslo is not moving at all, so potentially he can surprise at least one player, but we're looking at a player who is just below the ridge. Team Fade has top of the hill, and I just don't see how this can go wrong for them.
It's an interesting one. You got to feel like Fade are the favorites, but the phase has gone slightly to the west of them. So if it does come down, so those final couple of seconds of the zone, it may favor Kreslo as he can just sneak up from below and cause some problems. But it seems like right now Fade are up above. They're aware there's probably a player at the bottom of this cliff, and Pixel is doing what he can to try and get aggressive. The 300 ping Warlord himself is just flexing out as Clemson looks like he wants to make the drop. Knows there's a player somewhere down below, but they're using this high ground until they are absolutely forced to do otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see them being very passive for the next 40-ish seconds. We did want to see better performance by Fade. I mean, we kind of expected that tonight. They were sitting on 11th position, and with this performance in the last game, they already have 10 points in the pocket and potentially 11 more for the chicken dinner. And at this kill, we're looking at the Fade going in the upper part of the bracket at the end of the first day. Obviously, we cannot exclude Gravity Kreslos from Gravity. Gravity right now sitting on I think on the 5th position right now. So they have been doing pretty well. 17 kills for them, 30 points so far. But this win is important for both of these teams equally. However, telling by the names in the teams, we're kind of expecting Fade Gaming to get this chicken dinner. Obviously, they know the location of Kreslo right now, because that's literally the only little ridge which they didn't manage to check. But the zone, as you said, is going to move in the middle of the field. So if one of the players from FD Gaming, but no, I'm just saying if Fade Gaming managed to get that chicken dinner with 11 kills, last chicken of the night, we expected more from Fade, and they definitely delivered in the last match.
Really impressive. They're a team that we spoke about so much tonight as a squad with potential. Obviously, having Pixel on the team as well is going to be a huge boost, but they just haven't delivered tonight, and it seems like they are finally redeeming themselves in that final match of the evening in what was a very tricky zone to try and maneuver. So really impressive for them. I can't wait to see what they're capable of tomorrow, because if they have a similar performance to that last game, they are going to be looking really strong and definitely a team to watch as one to potentially qualify.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention about their play in this last match. They were one of the teams that were just stacked in Valle del Mar. They had only 2 players left with like 4 squads with them in Valle del Mar. They decided to not fight, to pull out very early, and they managed to sneak up on the team Martin Gaming, which was holding all the teams from Valle del Mar. They had amazing play and very, very well-deserved chicken dinner for them. We can definitely expect to see more from them if they continue with this tradition they had in the last game. Also, not to forget to mention the most amazing team tonight, Team Diamond, which maybe did not have the best match in this last one, but I mean, they have been so constant tonight. We can just congratulate them. And I mean, we're looking at a very amazing and a very exciting day 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, really exciting. But that's all of the games down for this evening. For me and Sanson, that is it. We're going to send it back to the studio for a final wrap-up. Of course, our MVP prize for the evening.
Here we go.
welcome back for the last time to the studio. Well, that was game 5.
Game number 5. What a day. I don't know what to say about this day. Like Team Diamond dominate, complete domination. I cannot wait to see the leaderboards, but we're gonna have to wait a teeny tiny bit more for that.
Yeah, I wanna comment on the very last scenes of last match that we saw.
Yes. Poor Creslow.
Yeah, poor guy from Team Gravity. And did you see that Molotov where it was just like he had this little piece where there was no fire, and then he was like, "This is fine."
Yes, it was not one. I think he had 2 Molotovs next to him, and a third one like on the bottom if he was there. I don't know. It was
Oh my goodness! And actually, Fade Gaming got the last chicken dinner.
Yes, they finally woke up. I think we had a lot of expectations towards Fade, but they were sleeping this whole day. But
Yeah,
Game
I
number
could say
5.
the same for Team Hit.
yes,
Maybe there were some changes, but yeah, it doesn't seem like they were putting as much effort as they usually would.
yeah, I think they were Group C, if I believe. And after first day, they were amazing. They had plenty of kills. I don't know in which spot they were, but the second
And Roy
day,
Mercury even had an MVP.
exactly, it was on day 1. But day 2, something happened, and I think it continued today. Like they're here, maybe in top like 7, 8 places, but guys, this is relegations, not top 7.
Last
only
chance.
yes,
And
only
last
top
chance was in top 4.
Yes. Yes. So this is the last chance to get those points. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what will happen in day number 2. I'm excited.
Yeah,
If this is day number 1, I cannot imagine what day number 2 will go.
Yeah, day number 2. This is what I'm saying. It's going to be just more and more exciting. And I believe the leaderboard is ready. So let us take a look
Check it out.
at the standings. So,
Do the
okay.
honors.
Yeah, should I? Okay.
Yes.
So, as you can see, number 1 spot still with Team Diamond with 73 points. That's 3 chicken dinners, 42 kills. And this is something interesting and different. We see Exile Esports on 2nd spot instead of Team Lost. That's
nice.
the last update that we've
Yes.
seen. And Exile Esports did get a really good game last game. So they're on 2nd spot with 49 points, but that's still so far away from spot number 1. So I feel like Team Diamond has solidified themselves here in the 1st position. Then we have Team Gravity. Crazy how they
Waking up.
climbed
Yes.
up. Yes, we have Team Lost, who have been pretty consistent, I would say, through today. Fade Gaming on spot number 5. And we have Queer Esports, who have put out something, but sadly wasn't really enough for the first 2 places. Last Chance is no longer on 16th spot. It is now taken by 404 Error. Rest of the teams, guys, you got to work it tomorrow. You got to work it. Okay, let's see what do we have for the kills, because there was a lot of kills today.
A lot of kills. I don't know where we're standing right now. It's all about Diamond.
It's the same.
Yes, Zembri with 16 kills. One guy, 16 kills in 5 games. That is amazing. Of course, we have Mistake here with 12 kills. Amazing first game with 7, and he was just stacking it up till the rest of the day. Then we have Bricks and Xeron, and of course, we have
Itkaron was here
thank you for helping
consistently
me.
the
Yes.
whole day, actually, from Exile Esports. So
Really good
props
job.
to him. Now, let's see the damage for today. Okay, Itkaron, first spot. Props.
Nice.
Props, man. I mean, maybe there was like accounting just some kills and some of the points for Exile Esports. In the end of the day, number 2, Zembri with 2,470. And then, of course, Xeron, spot number 3. Spot number 4 is Mistake from 3.5 Men. And on the last spot, Bricks from Team Diamond.
Yes, but we also do want to know who is the MVP. And I got it right here. I wrote it like this big on the paper. So congratulations to Zambari from Diamond, you destroyed day number 1 of Relegations, and congratulations, you're getting 100 euros from Pay Safeguard. Is it time to finish the day number 1?
Well, I would still like to say a couple of more things. I also want to congratulate Zembari for today's MVP award. Everybody else, I want to say good luck for tomorrow. Good job for today. You guys still have, it's not last chance is tomorrow. So you guys still have a lot to put out, a lot of points to get. Who knows, that number 2 spot seems like it could be pretty volatile, you know. We will see. But yeah, I want to say Zembari, really good job today. We saw those nades, the kills, the damage, really good. And also I would love to thank of course, Samsung Odyssey and our partners, Pay Safeguard and Visual S. And yeah, invite you to watch us tomorrow.
See you guys on the second day of Relegation, the last of the last chances to jump on that train and join us in the finals. See you tomorrow, same place, same time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Get untied, laces, yeah. Just tripping on day. Dreams got dirty little lullabies playing. Might as well just ride around the nursery and couch.
Say I'm good-hearted, but I'm just getting started. Got my eyes on the target.